All right, we join in. It's time for Affecting DJ. Arrival.
He arrives.
It's time.
What's our plan here?
All right. So, I think the game plan is, so Gylo was nice enough to find and send me a Jaeger account because I'm in hot, so technically I can use it. So I can do the streaming.
Oh, that's convenient.
And we can go through. I had always started on a tier list, but I was talking with the fact, and it's like we may as well just restart whenever you join, because I figured we'd sit down at least a baseline of parameters to like rate the tier list off of, or rate the basis off of for the tier list, and then we could discuss and figure it out.
Okay.
If that works for you.
Yeah, sure.
So let me open up Jaeger. We're not doing OSHA based tier list. I think I can simultaneously stream in Discord so you can see it in real time.
Yeah, it's probably
Probably be easier.
I can close my game.
Otherwise, I do have the Twitch stream up too. But
Your
we'll
base
see.
tier list is like they're all bad except for 3, and I can't remember what they are. So
And like
That's
mining.
pretty much what Simple said.
Yeah, and like I don't know. That's all I got.
I think there are at least a couple of interesting bases on the outer edges of the map, but we never get to play at them, so like it doesn't fucking matter.
We started with the Amerish. I'm working on that. I made it through about 7, 8, 9 bases before we were like, we'll just wait until DJ shows up. Automatic pistol tier list. But it's nice to just have a discussion point. The past 2 days have just been me. I streamed for 6 hours yesterday, watching and listening through the baddie stream where Lex, Tim, Leroy, Shockter, and Cammy were all talking. While Baddie was streaming in the background, and so I watched that and discussed that with people on stream. Just have something in the background. I know. Even though technically I'm in the game right now for Planetside, I'm on Jaeger and nobody's here, so I'm not really. Do we want to do Amerish? Do we want to do other continents? Do you guys care?
We could just run it down the list.
Well,
do we want to start best to worst or worst to best?
So, what I was doing earlier is I literally started in the Western Warp Gate. I did all the immediate bases, and I just followed the lattice line. I went from base to base. Now, I was actually flying to the base and looking around it, and that does take more time to run through these bases. So, effects actually on
whatever you want to do.
All right. All right, I'll stream here in the Discord, so at least you can see it in real time. We'll just go to Amerish. All right. So I'm thinking what we can do. We did already cover. So we covered Soltech Charging Station, Soltech Gorge, Quaddy West Pass, Deserted Mine Shaft, Stone Ridge Reserve, Lithcore Secure Mine, and Economic Motor Pool in the Biolab. So I don't. Do we want to like lay out, because this isn't supposed to be like a super serious thing. This is more of a, you know, I'm streaming and we just have discussion points over it. So
basic.
Yeah, just keep it basic. I did have the tier list stuff up, so
yeah.
we could skip over the ones I've already done.
Yeah, we can just quick recap the ones you already did, because we don't really need to apply the scientific method to this.
Right. All right, we'll do a single use template, and I will Upload each of these. So I think we start with Soltech charging station. We put that into B tier. The idea with that was it's a direct warp gate base, so it's very infrequently fought at. But the parameters were so the constants are, anytime we look at these bases, we're going to assume it's a 50-50 balanced fight. It's not a three-way, it's a 50-50 between two factions, and we think about averaging out what does it fight like in the 1 to 12 and 12 to 24s, which we consider small. What does it fight like in the 24 to 48 range, which is medium-sized fights, and then what does it fight like in the 96 pluses, or 48, 96 to 96 plus, which is the large fights. So I think Soltech charging station, we slapped it on a B because it does have buses can be placed like right around this arrow underneath this pipeline, and they can lift up here and here. And then the attackers, obviously between the spawn and the teleporter, have a couple different ways to get over to the point, and the point itself is like right here. So to me, I don't know why does it keep doing like that. To me, this is a base where the time that it takes for the attackers and the defenders is about the same. Base reviews.
The game does not show up on your stream, by the way.
What's that?
It's still on the tier list. The game.
Oh,
is,
right. Because I forgot the. Yep. 1 second. My bad. Mr. Streamer, are you heading out, man? So what we're doing is base reviews. We're taking a look and doing like a tier list.
I think what we should do is, if we're doing every base, we just hit the gas, and it's like if this base is obviously ass,
yeah,
and if it's obviously good, we move on. And if it's like
if it needs more time to cook, you know, need more time for
gotta
discussion, that's fine. Yeah, because it's gonna take a while. I agree with you. I'm totally fine with that. Why can I not zoom out? What the fuck?
You made the mistake of clicking the overlay button from 2012.
I did. So yeah, we'll skip over the ones we've already done so far. So Soltech charging station was a B. Soltech gorge, I'm pretty sure we put that as a, that's an absolute low. That's the D tier. So Soltech gorge is bottom. Quaddy West Pass was also D tier.
Having to cross basically an open bridge to get to a point is
yep. Deserted Mineshaft, I think we put that as a C.
If it's 50, yeah, it's okay.
Because you got to remember, it's always 50-50. Doesn't the size of the fight obviously can dictate a little bit more about how the base is, but it's always gonna be a 50-50. So Deserted Mineshaft is a C. Stone Ridge Reserve, I think we also put this as a C tier base.
That one's rough. I never have big fights there that are even.
Yeah, they're usually gonna be one-sided. Lithcore Secure Mine, we put this one as a C tier. Ikonom Motor Pool, we also put that as a C. And then Ikonom Biolab we put as a B.
Okay, I can see that. I feel like I don't like all of those bases the same, but they're probably all within the C range.
Right.
Yeah, just on it. I think Lithcorp Secure Mine can be good, but like on average, it probably is a C.
The discussion point was that because 1/3 of the time, aka the 1 to 12, or even sometimes the 12 to 24 small fights are just so bad. The base is so big, and it takes for fucking ever to run to the points. So yeah. All right, we'll jump in. Effect will be our chaperone here, flying us around, and he can drop me off at the bases.
You can also, if you're flying around, you can just turn off your HUD.
Oh, that's true. What's the keybind for that?
Control F10.
Control F10?
Yep, it's a good one.
All right. So, can I get into third person here?
And
There we go. That's unfortunate. Speed of gunner, I guess. Yeah, we already kind of discussed this one a little bit. I think the main reason why this dropped down to C was just because it's almost always going to have vehicles and bolters either sitting on the ridge line or people sitting on the balcony up here. But if it is smaller, like in the 12 to 24 range maximum, there can be some solid infantry fighting here.
Yeah. When it gets to big fights, this is like if you took the bases where you run across the street to get to the point, except that's the whole base.
Yeah. Right. No, we did say that this was a C tier, Hefty. It's because it's spawn trapped way too easily.
It's too easy to get killed by vehicles here.
Yeah, bro, what is the spawn room, man? I won't speak. Move on.
No. It's so bad. Okay. Oh great, I have to do fucking this F10 shit in order to open the map. It's so dumb. We already covered the biolab, so Econom Triage Station is next, which means I gotta pull up the interactive map again. Hold on. Jesus Christ. That's not what I want.
I feel like this base is
one
of those bases that's okay when it's small.
Wow, rude.
Hold on. Is someone shooting at us?
It is. It's simple. It is. It's huge. There's zeros.
Oh my god. Oh no.
I'll comment you again next time I see you in 6v6, I swear.
Why are we being shot down? The Void Well map is the one I want. Alright. So we need Amerish. This screenshot of Econom Triage Station is where we need to be at.
Can't catch me.
Why are we being trolled, dude? We're just making a simple tier list here. Come on. Alright, Econom Triage Station we'll need to take a look at. Literally being stream sniped.
Reported.
This is him. This is the guy.
Alright.
You know how I didn't feel bad about annoying simple in 6v6? I feel less bad now.
Come on, man.
I mean, Econom Triage. This one.
I gotta get over there.
I'm
Valk.
willing to call it a C straight up. It has the same problems as Motorpool does.
It's a little better than Motorpool. I put up like high C. I think it's just more interesting base to fight at than Motorpool is.
I think it's only better because the Zerg usually avoids that, and so we don't get absolutely farmed all the time there.
Artifact. I'm gonna switch to seat 3. You take over seat 1. All right.
Understood. As long as you actually unlocked it.
Oh, let me park this real quick first. No, stop. Simple. I'm trying to do a thing here, man. All right.
Fighting gameplay.
I have fought here a decent amount. I don't think that this is like part of the problem I have with this base is like what the hell's the point of this over here?
So you could play cloaked infill and sit in the window.
Like, I guess I don't know, you're like pulling up from across the bridge because you took that base and now you're over here. Like, to me it just seems really silly. This is how this is set up. So I fought here a few times. It's just another one of those bases where it feels like way more attacker sided than anything. Because look at how far the spawn is. from
cover, by the way.
From this. Like, you have a couple of these random ass buildings, and then so what?
At least the teleporter takes you closer to the point.
Yeah, sort of.
But it takes you to the other end of just like crossing an entire field to fight enemies.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I can see this kind of falling in that C tier list, or the C list part. This is definitely
vehicles. It can be really fun, but you know, I can think that's true for most bases.
That's true for pretty much every base, though. Yeah. Oh, there's no air to ground here. Oh, there's no vehicles here. This would be a great base. But unfortunately, we have to always take that into consideration. And that's kind of where the bases that are on the A or the S, you know, the S rank, those are going to be.
Not talk about that.
the bases that are in the A or S are going to be like, how do you say it? Like that's why they'll deserve it, right? Is because they'll actually be, you know, there's a reason why they're there, and so there has to be some level of separation for it. But I think that's fine. We don't need to look at this anymore. Let's go to C, or go to the C tier for this and move on.
Yeah, I think high C is where I'd put it.
Yeah.
End of C.
Yeah.
Honestly, we can probably speed through.
We can probably see through most of these. Yeah.
They all have the same issues.
I think it's mostly the bases that are connected to the warp gate that we haven't played a lot that we need to actually kind of discuss a little bit more. All right, so the next base would be the auger. We don't need to look at the auger. I mean, if we want to fly over it, sure, but I'll redeploy into.
I'm inclined to say C, but because it can have good fights, I don't want to just give it a C. And the other problem I see is we're going to call every single base a C because on average, this game is actually not that good. We might have to drop our standards a little bit and zoom in on the middle of the bell curve. So bases that are especially bad will be a D or an F.
Yeah,
bases that are usually bad but can be okay should probably just go B or A.
That's what I
save S tier for the actual good bases.
Yeah, and I prefaced that with the whole, you know, I didn't want to put things into the extreme end of the spectrums with A or S versus the D tier, because the D tier needed to be reserved for the absolute worst of the worst bases. I'm not going to put an F. I don't want to have too much separation. But in a lot of ways, it probably would be better to do S, A, B, C, D, F, just because there's so much going to be in the C tier. The things that are quote unquote high C tier would just be B tier. The things that are low C tier would need to be D tier. And then actual C tier, like average bases that are just mediocre to fight at, would be C. So I can do that. I think I can add one more in here. Add row below. We'll just make this F. Can I edit this, please? Okay. We'll do F tier. And that'll be fine. Okay. So Augur, what do you guys thoughts about Augur?
The base where you actually play the game is pretty good. The base where you have to like cross to play the game then is not good. So C, yeah.
C, yeah.
C, because it's the kind of same problem. It has, you have to walk over this exposed space to get to the spawn room.
Yeah, that's the common theme with all these bases that are like this. It's either C or F.
They also put these giant fucking mountains behind the spawn room so that you can have all these enemy snipers or aircraft hiding behind it, waiting to air around you. It's just way too annoying to get.
You know how before we talked about discussing the teleporters at bases and how we had a scale of 0 to 100?
Yeah,
this is a negative. This is a negative.
That's actually worse. That's terrible. I can't believe that base is playable.
All right, so let's move on. So that's the Augur. I'll take the screenshot. Go ahead and move us over to NC Arsenal next.
NC Arsenal.
Hello, Keyman
guy.
Oh, hello?
Hello?
Oh, hello. It's Simple in here. I didn't hear him join because my streamer was on.
Just now.
Welcome. All right, save.
NC Arsenal's alright.
Augur.
Impact from ground vehicles is significantly less here. So I would actually say this is a B tier base. Obviously, you're still very prone to getting air to ground here, but
Yeah.
I give it a B just because there are multiple ways you can get into the base and play it, and it's big enough that you aren't going to get, like, unless there's, I guess 50-50 is okay. If it's huge base with a huge fight, it's all right. When this fight is small, but it's not usually that common, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but usually when there's high pop, people can't really get inside the buildings properly, can they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
if
true.
it's 50-50, it ends up being okay.
Because most of the time people end up staying outside on the big entrances to each point building,
Yep. Yep.
and they get
Like up here.
crossfired from multiple angles. And
Yeah.
you gotta go play roof, and you know, actual few players do play around other than the main ways into the buildings. Like our side probably would go on the roof and
Mhm.
try and flank, but most people just go to a door directly. Just keep on dying repeatedly.
Right. I think the approach from the defender side is that you would go through the teleporter, and then you would run up a lot of times over to the mountain pass here where I'm shooting.
No one does it.
do that.
Very few people do it. Even know it, I think.
Yeah. That's typically what I would do at this base, especially if I know that they're at C point.
Yeah, I think that's basically what all even modestly skilled infantry players will do. Is take
Yeah.
that mountain pass.
Or they'll come this way and go up top.
Go on top of B.
You go on top of B, yeah. They'll go through the rocks and go on top of B.
You can do a C jump as well. On the side.
Like over here or?
Yeah. But you don't have to go into the higher ground on the lower side here. You can do
okay.
This one. This is jumpable without the light soul.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. That makes sense.
From here.
That's one thing I do like. This base does you have some more variety for defenders to get out.
Mm-hmm. And that's nice because even
B and C, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Upper end of C. Well, because again, if you consider it from the perspective of the fight sizes, so small, medium, or large, it really feels awful as a small fight.
Not the worst.
It's not the worst, but it's like if we're looking for consistency, there's a lot of running around that has to be done if it's a small fight, right? Yeah, technically you have to run around too if it's a medium fight, but at least you're going to be fighting people that are up here or over here. But if it's a small fight, you might be fighting people who are spawning behind A point, and then you yourself are going to be at A point, combating them. So I think we'll slap this into low end of B right now.
Yeah, I say B is good because you can feasibly attack or defend that base and have fun.
Yeah.
That's another thing, is a lot of these bases are kind of awful for one side or the other.
All right.
Ooh.
Let's see Arsenal. Sangre Westgate's next.
This, I am tempted to put in an A.
Part of me feels like, just like knee-jerk reaction, it doesn't deserve an A, but I feel like that's every base, so maybe I agree. Small fights, this base is pretty good. Medium fights, it's probably the best. Large fights, it gets a little aids because you have way too many people.
Yeah.
But it still retains some playability.
There is a lot of means to get around the different components of the base as an infantry player from the defensive and offensive side.
Yeah, because you got the underground area.
Yeah.
Teleporter.
Yeah. If you play light assault, you can go from the frontal approach as a defender.
Decent vehicle protection, at least on the inside.
Yeah.
But the spawn camp is very bad from the main entrance.
It is.
It is. Very easy to get spawn camp if you're especially rail prompt.
And if you go from the teleporter from below, so you get another level. So you have to climb up 4 floors pretty much to get 3 floors. Like 1 additional floor. Actually 2 if you count the next set of stairs that lead up to the first level.
Right.
From the bottom to actually get to the point.
I guess one question is, do we care how objective oriented you have to be at a base? Because if we're talking about like, is this base defensible?
No. So the idea with this is purely just fight quality. I don't care about how easy it is to defend or take the point back. Yes, there is the whole idea of like how long does it take to run to the point, but it's purely we're looking at this from how are the quality of the fights themselves.
Yeah, I'd say it's better then, because if I have to consider defendability, like, it takes me a while to run to the point of the space, but usually I don't need to run that far to find people to fight. Usually the fight's like in the warehouse, or in the staircase or something. So I'll give it a better score than that because of that.
Yeah. If we're talking just purely about fight quality, I'm gonna move this into A.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll leave a fight to go to a defense here.
Yeah.
I mean, usually you want to farm the people that try to get to the point the most, right? In every base. These are the front folder usually that play so much for the point. So they focus on the tactical bullshit.
And then you can farm them.
And you just cut them off while they're moving around like headless chickens, pretty much. But yeah, if we're ignoring this part, it should be somewhere between B and A.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, this would be the first one we put into A if we do one there.
In this game, sadly, I don't think.
No, I mean, we'll see if we get there.
The tier list is for quality of your enjoyment playing the game. Yeah, I don't think so. Relative quality of bases, there are S tier bases.
I mean, if it's up to Planetside standards, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I kind of assume that's if we don't go by Planetside standards, we can just cut the top half off.
Right. So in a sense, that's kind of the reason why there's the different categories, though, because like it's not S in the series like, oh, this is a god tier base, I'm gonna go there 24/7 if it was available, because at that point, like, where does the biolab stand then? Is that the only S tier base for infantry fights? Because it's not even then. Yeah. So then, like, what would be exactly? So we have to pick something that would be the standard of S tier, if we normally wouldn't put anything there anyway, because it's all relative, right? Tower defense bases. If there's what tower? There's one base I know of that has a point in the tower still.
Heron Station.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, West Pass maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Did they remove
West Pass is not bad.
Yeah. All right. Next
Still
one.
has fucked up spots, but.
Can you head up northwest? We're gonna go Sungray Power Hub, Moss Ravine, and North Grove and Lithcore. We'll go check those out. So Sungray Power Hub's next. We're gonna skip over the amp stations for now because we're gonna do those towards the end.
Makes sense.
Since they're all gonna be the same.
No.
There is some variation.
Well, yes, there's a different variation of that, but like,
same analysis.
I think it's the general same analysis. We're not gonna have too much variance in the rating of them.
Sungray Power is okay when it's small.
Yeah, when it's small, it's decent. You're up high, so the ground vehicles have limited impact.
Yeah, but
air to ground is misery.
One of the most defender-focused bases in the game. Just like left corp in the middle.
Yeah,
it's like a pain to fucking attack unless you're a light salt info, or your group is pushed up towards the last level and they're not getting pushed out. Usually it doesn't happen in equal pop though.
You're right. This is definitely a very heavy defender side of bases. There's very minimal locations for a spawn bus.
Yeah.
From one side it's great to defend, but the other side is a nightmare to attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's part of the consideration too, is that we want to think about it from both perspectives, and so if it's skewed, then that does kind of drop the rating a little bit.
Yeah, if we consider the attacker side with even pop, it can't be above a C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because attacking is actually so bad.
It's rough.
I don't attack this base.
If you don't have a beacon, it is very difficult if it's larger than a 12 to 24 fight.
I mean, half of the time is just the first double stack building. that's the
yeah.
Right the here. Bottom leading to the road.
Yeah.
So fucked up.
Yeah. There's really no other good way up, which really sucks.
I think this base is really good when it's maybe 12 to 24 with like 65%, 70% enemy pop.
Yeah.
That's really good. Otherwise, I don't know.
So C tier?
C tier I think is fair.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, move us up. Go to Moss Ravine, please, sir.
Oh, this is an easy one. Dog. It is D for dog. This base is terrible.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Not a fan.
I've had one good fight here, maybe.
This is infiltrator heaven.
Infiltrators, air to ground. Tanks can drive up and separate you from the base. You have to run across a bridge or through like a weird mountain thing where you get funneled into a death hole. It's so bad. Looks crazy, bro. I love the rocks. That's so epic and fun, but not when you get shot from there.
Yeah.
The rocks don't close together to make a giant cave, because then this base might be fucking playable.
Yeah, it's different from everything we've got in the game, but it's still shit.
Yeah, if you're rating on uniqueness, then maybe it'd be up there, but you know what
There's just always vehicles and people on these rocks that are a menace to anyone.
Yes. Absolutely.
And then you can't cross the line between the point building and the next double stack. Usually it's impossible to cross this unless you're an infill.
Yeah.
I thought this the hard way. Attackers can hack this turret, and then if you try to flank the point from over here, they can shoot you. They can turn this angle.
That's
cancer as well.
Gross. Yeah. Because this is probably the most common approach from infantry players is this like south side.
Yeah.
They go through and try to wrap around, and yeah, you're just not having a good time here.
Then you funnel into short and die. The only thing you can kind of do is jump on Pixel and run into Nest Window.
Yeah.
Actually, no, Nest Window's closed.
Nest Window's closed, yeah.
The long stairs, the landing window.
That's correct. So I think you can go on the balcony on the backside, and that's about it.
Yeah. D, maybe even F.
Yeah, this is absolutely D tier.
Ooh, is it F tier?
F tier? No. F tier is reserved for... I almost want to put Soltec Gorge down in F tier.
Or underwater bases.
Underwater bases, yeah, when we get to those.
I almost don't even want to score those. I feel like it's unfair to the shitty bases.
Right.
Put those in the same category.
Just off the charts, but in the wrong way.
It's just in their own tier, underwater.
Yeah.
We're rating bases we can actually fight at, okay? Construction doesn't count.
Right.
Underwater, no thanks.
All right, so Moss Ravine going into D tier. All right, next on the list as we move our way up is North Grove Post.
This base is objectively bad, but I like fighting at it when it's small.
Yeah, I feel that. An actual great example of how in practice versus like theoretical plays out really differently. Because you would think, yeah, it is. You would think though that with this base and how long you have to run to get to the point that it'd be, I mean, it is pretty fucking awful. But most of the time, the attackers, if they're setting up buses, it's going to be on the east side or like the southeast side, and they don't really leave the point building. So you don't have too much contention in the area between the spawn and the point itself.
Yeah, it's kind of as simple as saying if it's like your average people fighting at this base, they're just going to sit in the point building and go AFK.
Yeah.
So it's pretty playable once you can get there.
Yeah.
I usually flank up to this double stack building and then I run across the bridge.
I also do the same thing.
Same.
I
That's
always
exactly what I
use
do.
teleporter here, and I never go for the main entrance on the right.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's always there was always
the first time.
campers.
The first time you can basically always get to the point room and no one will shoot at you because no one's paying attention.
So with that being discussed, do we think like shitters and lightnings, this is their favorite base? Absolutely.
Yes,
I've never seen more lightnings than this fucking base,
dude.
dude.
All the way up to your vehicle pad and shoot your spawn room with no repercussions whatsoever.
So I think this
Actually,
has to be C, right? Yeah, for
Very
sure.
low C, yeah.
Were you here, Simple, when I was streaming on the European servers and we got like Doc and everyone else to join? They've all made new characters or something, or just we had like half the stream join when I was trying to fight the ghost cappers. I don't think you were here for that.
I think I missed it. When was this?
This was like a week or two before my final stream, so about a month and a half ago, maybe.
Yeah, but you were streaming late night for me, so no.
Oh yeah, that would have been the case, most likely. Okay. All right. Go next. Next is Lithcorp Fortress. Oh boy.
An interesting base, but
this base is supposed to be good, but it ended up being bad. That's how it goes.
Yeah. Too prone to being air to grounded. There's
cosmetic walls.
Yeah.
Good teleporter, but also terrible teleporter.
No,
Because
so
the jump pad across the open giant
right.
death field is pretty dumb. But at least it's not the same spot that the spawn room is. So that's something.
Yeah. And then, like, yeah, if you're not a light assault, that teleporter becomes a death trap.
Yeah, it does.
Nowhere to go.
This base is D tier.
This was the definition. Yeah. This was the definition, though, of the perfect 50 like rating on the teleporter thing, because it's exactly opposite side of the base.
Yeah.
But
one of the best teleporters in the game, and
open point, open to air to ground, zero cover, cosmetic walls, turrets.
Oh yes.
Turrets facing the point, like who? Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I like when I try to defend a base, is it being shot at by my own fucking turret.
What Gijo said in chat, this base has insane invisible walls. Drop me off if you can real quick, Effect. Go over this direction. Off to the northeast. And just drop me off here on top of the base. Alright, so if I go over... I know exactly one situation, if this is the right side. I think both of them do it, but this for sure is one of them. So I think it's either here... No, down below. This is one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Look at this.
That is wild.
Look at that. Like, that is so bad. Dude, the ultimate right angle, they don't know where your head is at because you don't know where your head is at.
Yeah. What a right angle. You're a foot out from the wall. That's insane.
Oh, all right, yeah, that's a very simple detail. And you know what the worst part about this is too? When people are attacking, what do they always do? They always get the shields down, and then they put the Sunderers down in the garages on both sides, or one side, right? And then what happens? How do you ever get out of that garage when people start pushing it? You can't. Yeah. You're getting shot from these ramparts we're at right now, or you're being shot from inside the tunnels. The Sundies get hyper farmed because there's no fucking shield on this spot.
Yeah, this base is never a 50-50. It's always like you're getting spawn camped giga hard, or you are spawn camping them at the bus for 10 minutes. It's never anything else.
Exactly.
So it's such a shame because I really almost like this base. But
the triple stacks are giga useless. They are. Now, suggestion: what if the lifts across took you onto the top of the triple stacks? Do you think that would make a change?
Better, yeah.
Nah, that'd be busted, I'd say, because you get the elevation on the point people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's true.
Can just put a staircase inside, next to a lift.
Okay.
Right. You can just get inside the fucking building. What's the point of this?
Yeah.
So you gotta circle around, get shot by the vehicles on the hill and on the road. When you try to get in, it's always the case. There's a fucking dog on the side shooting you.
That is true. You're absolutely right.
Behind your spawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, D tier it is.
I love it when there's vehicles behind, or the vehicles behind your spawner because of the mountain. So cool.
But usually the buildings are nice, so they're like a safe haven. If you're defending, you can go and do last stands in there because people are just slow to get in, and you can blast them one by one.
The base was made by someone who thought sieges would be a thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
probably.
Did we already cover Economic Garrison? I think we did.
Did we? I can't recall.
Let's see.
It's okay, but it again, you have 5 miles between the spawn room and the point.
We did not cover Economic Garrison.
That's shit.
Same problems as all the others.
The the point is okay, but it's okay. Still like C tier, it's playable. But the area from spawn to the point is like dog shit.
So bad, so bad. How many times do you see a fucking tank sitting on the bridge?
No, how many times do you not?
Right.
Awful. It's so open. Even though they have put cover, it's still so easy to catch people that push up off guard.
The teleporter, I don't even want to start. Shit's
yeah, the east side.
Info here.
That's correct.
Hefty likes this base, so it's probably bad.
Hefty has some scuff takes tonight.
When I can get into the buildings, I have fun. But getting there is such a fucking process.
Yeah, every other base in the game.
And the buses pretty much are always placed like on the northeast side. You never see buses on the south side unless someone's being brain dead. So they're always coming from over here, which is another problem.
You see buses in this trench or
yeah. If the fight's large enough and they already have buses that are in the north side, that's what you tend to see. So, is this D tier?
It's very. If it's in C tier, it's on the very, very low end of C tier. But I'm tempted to put it in D tier.
I'd rather put it in D.
Me too. I'm fine with that. All right. We've already covered the biolab. We've already covered the auger. Let me get the screenshot of this real quick. Go to the northeast side. We're gonna cover the north warp gate, that whole stretch of bases leading up to there.
Sungray watch it is. I didn't mention it, but there is that underground area too that doesn't really have
Nothing.
A purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Actually.
The fact that we all kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, I've been there like twice. If the teleporter went down there, that'd be crazy.
If people knew how to run on pixel walls at the point that L would be unplayable with the antenna on the side hill. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
This one's not too bad.
What is this? This is Econom...
You know...
Oh, no, not
Sangre
Econom. This is Sangre
Overwatch.
Overwatch.
I don't hate this base. It has problems, though. It's not great.
Drop me off real quick right here at the spawn.
Dog shit.
My fights here are like 80% just off hours, over pop defense against like 20 people, and they're always just gonna shoot you in the spawn.
It's always
like they're
that.
sitting in this triple.
Yep.
Like last time I fought here, people were just sitting in the triple.
Yep. That's pretty much what it always is.
But
They
if it's
attack.
50-50, it's decent.
They get to this because what happens is the defenders want to get to the point, so you're literally sideswiping, crossfiring them right here. That's
You
pretty much
have
what
to
it
clear
is.
this building.
Yeah. Planetside 1 bridge fight base.
Yeah, the bridge part on the back at the back side is dog shit.
Yeah.
Should not be in a part of the base at all.
Mm-hmm. And then you have
This
this.
side here needs cover.
Holy!
No one stays on that bridge.
Look at this angle too. Like you can sit here, and anybody who's trying to get to the point building is just gonna get domed.
That's what I meant.
Semi-auto sniper angle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this is even a shittier angle on the roof. Is better.
From looking at the bridge.
Yeah, this triple stack is like perfect infiltrator, semi-auto sniper bullshit heaven because you got 2
Yeah.
angles you can work with.
Yeah. Didn't realize how
And you
many
have a terminal
bridges
to
Amerish
refresh
had.
gear and med kits.
Ha!
Oh,
That's
yeah,
sick.
that's crazy. There's a terminal in this base. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of
Bases
like
that has an external terminal.
All right, we go up.
I'm pretty
Does
sure
this-
the other Econom base also had one. The
Does
one
this-
with the
Which
with
one?
the bad how you call it, the bad path from the spawn to the point.
Oh,
Westgate?
yep.
Yeah, I think Westgate. No, Econom Garrison. has a
Garrison did.
terminal.
Oh,
At the the L shape?
Left double stack.
Yes.
On the left double stack.
yeah, you're right. It does.
Yeah, it does have one there.
That's neat, but still,
Yeah.
I don't get the point of these. They're just randomly placed throughout the map.
I
They're
wish
very
there were more of
random.
them.
There's no reasoning behind them.
Yeah, there's no thought on why.
Sangre
or where.
Overwatch. Is that, are we putting that in C or D tier with the,
I don't want to put it in D. I think C
It's
is
not
low.
as bad
C.
as
Think
D.
C's
C2 is
fine?
Okay.
okay. And that was Sangre Overwatch.
Great Overwatch.
We get a little weird near the warp gates because
Get really
most of
weird.
the times we fight these bases, it's like either off hours or off continent with like 12 to 24 people, usually over pop defense, and those are actually pretty fun because those people are clueless. But that doesn't make the base good, and this is one of those bases. Like I don't
Yeah.
think I've really ever fought more than a few times with high pop here.
Yeah.
And
This
if it's high
one,
pop, it's like a Hellzerg.
this one
The
very
points are
frequently is
different,
late night. Late night Planetside is what this base, I think of this base first among some of the other center bases. Because this is always like the stop, you know, just before they kind of go to Jagged Lance and people start really slowing them down. It's always this one somehow. Always this one.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah, this
have
one is-
underground, and then you have this section too where you have some fights that maybe they'll have like a bus down here or whatever. You might get the fight over this double stack, but a lot of times it's the underground section.
Yeah.
The point visibility here is pretty bad. You can hide in some weird spots.
God, yeah.
Like you can
Like,
hide
literally
like,
right
in the
here.
rocks, I think, or, like right there. You can submerge.
Yeah. It's kind of annoying.
If the lighting's not good, then the visibility here is pretty bad without something like infravision to.
The big ramp for the infill? What are you referring to with that?
I think he's referring to this thing over here.
Oh, right.
on the back.
Yeah.
Up
what
over
is
there.
that even supposed to be?
I don't know. I like to when I want to cheese somebody, I can pull like a.
That's a
bus with
roleplay
full
based
vault.
design.
You can drive buses straight up this with dual cobalts and just have a stupid angle over the entire base.
Yeah, this is their mining conveyor belt. They're mining, and you know, a truck's supposed to stop by here or something.
You can
That's
tell
actual
by,
role
like, the
play.
5 rocks on it.
I think that
you can deploy a bus there actually. So now you can have a one-way shield on that stupid ramp.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, there will always be a max underground.
Yeah.
That's true.
There has to be something
These
to be
bollards
said
are
though
also,
for
like pointless. They don't do anything to stop vehicles driving over them.
mm-hmm.
They need to be taller, like much taller.
So
I don't know what to rate this. Probably C.
C, yeah.
C or D. I mean, it has
C.
to be one of those two, for
Low
sure.
C.
Low C.
On the low end of C, maybe we can move a D if we think about it more.
All right. Well,
The
throw
teleporter
low
here is
C for
decent.
now.
It puts
doesn't have a
you
decent teleport.
like 5 feet closer to the point, which is better than half the bases in the game, so it's like not that bad. You're in a real building.
Oh, but
You still have to cross the open.
the teleporter is like fully exposed to like this open door though, so like if they get a vehicle angle, they can just spam you to death.
Yikes. Never mind.
I'm starting to put it thinking D.
High D.
In every base is D. Yeah,
I know. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of rough. People stacking into the ramparts like idiots. That does happen a lot.
Yeah. If the walls here were taller, you couldn't drive vehicles into this area here.
Mm-hmm.
See, but
I think when the developers, like, I wonder when they're designing these bases, like, I don't think there's much thought for like anything with scale and anything with how people are just going to be wired. There's no reason to come for these side flank routes if the fights are super small, and conversely, if the fights are super big and there's a lot of pop, well, don't you think it's just going to be people stuck in the spawn room? I don't know.
I feel like it's pretty easy to think conceptually, like, oh, you can do this. This is an option for people to do. But then all those things exist after you get out of the choke point that is your spawn room. So.
Look at this. The contender for the worst, weirdest lift of all time.
Why?
Like, like, what is this for? You can't get back up.
The infiltrator on the mountain.
To go and pull a vehicle, bro.
Yeah.
You need your fucking wheelchair to get on the bigger wheelchair.
That's so you can pre-pull the lightning and get inside the base before they show up.
Yeah, D.
That's definitely D tier. Oh boy. All right, Jagged Lance Mine.
Oof, this is definitely D.
That's terrible.
I don't think any of us needs an explanation on that, but if we even cover the possibility of you using the bridge, you get over there if people aren't in the double stack, then because you have the teleporter, so you take teleporter, you come up, try to cross the bridge, everyone can still see you from the point. There's no cover here.
I think this bridge is like, I can't remember exactly, but I think this is like a perfect angle to just sit with a sniper under where you're flying right now and just kill people for free. I think there's like a box you can sit on. Am I right? Maybe not.
Unless it's this one.
Box to blast people with a bolt here.
Well, yeah. But it's like you can sit on like a perfect head glitch. Like you can stack the cringe.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just dog.
You have bolter number 3000 sitting up here. You can see the entire base. Is this an F?
D.
Okay.
There's still cover.
There's still some cover, and at least in the smaller fights, the only problem is like the vehicles can be a huge nuisance, but that's again very common across every bases.
Closer. We're getting close.
This is very bottom D tier though.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
What said.
All these bases are
That's true. All the Amerish bases kind of feel the same when you really get down to it.
Jagged Lance Mine. All right, we move on.
How would you rate the warp gate, Hesper?
Well, Northeast Warp Gate, considering that these are some of the worst fucking bases to fight at, this is a D tier Northeast Warp Gate for sure. Huge D tier Warp Gate. Jagged Lance Mine. Come on. This up. Bottom of D tier. Amerish Arcs Reserve. Now, I think we all have our opinions on this base because It is actually quite unique, and some of the fights here, regardless of the size, can be quite interesting. Now, obviously, the much larger ones are going to get air to grounded, but what do you guys think about the size of the base versus where people actually play at?
It kind of varies. Sometimes I'll see people fight by the road. Usually it ends up being fighting over the bridge from the powerhouse. It depends how far they get pushed out, I guess.
Yeah. If they get on point and you're trying to like defend the base, it can be really frustrating. But I think that's more of a problem with how like medics and maxes work rather than the actual base itself.
The most common thing that's seared in my brain is they will set up 100 guys on point and throw down one of those one-way umbrella shields right at the entrance, and you actually just get farmed for free when you go and try to take the point back. So
plus a wall.
Yep. There's always 500 baby gates on point. This base is terrible on the point itself. Ever since they added the shitty deployables that don't actually make the game any better, this base got like 3 times worse.
Yeah. Yeah, gotta agree with that. Outside of that, though, I do like most of this base.
Yeah.
You got a lot of variety. There's not too much ground vehicles can do here.
I wish the triple stack were a little bit more accessible by defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually it's just some dude sitting in the staircase with a bolt or something.
You don't really have a way of getting over there. The teleporters are pretty fucking awful.
Teleporter is awful. We should do a whole separate teleporter tier list. And
this is enough.
This is
it takes you further away from the point, so that's not great.
Man, I'd have to say this is a D.
No, this is for sure down there.
But
yeah.
I want to say C, but
I do too. But also like, I hate this. So
if it is you are fighting against a bunch of point holders who are sitting on the point, it is absolutely a D tier fight. F tier or D tier for sure. If it's a normal like slower fight, 12 to 24 in that sort of range, then
pull around these powerhouses,
right. There's more playability in that. So I just think it averages out, unfortunately, towards the D side of things, and we have to think about how, because this is one of the warp gate bases, when you think about warp gates, what is happening? It's either off continent, like low pop hours, or a faction is warp gating another faction.
Yeah,
there's really no in between. Yeah. So I think this has to go in the D tier.
If the point's accessible, it can be pretty good, but if it's not, then it's unplayable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So over to there.
Yeah,
next one.
Shadespire Farms. Oh boy.
This base is not as bad as you would think it should be, but it's close.
It's deceptive.
The spawn room is dumb.
D tier.
D tier?
Though.
It looks like it should be the worst base in the game. But it's only close.
Yeah.
But
Teleporter is better.
If you get into a triple stack, you can farm, but going there is like pain.
So rough.
Yeah.
So rough.
This is a beacon requirement base.
Yep.
Beacon required. All these like mountains and little hills give lots of places for infuls to be really super annoying. You can drive vehicles up to the point.
Mm-hmm. You cannot, Geo, you cannot attack from the main the main spawn side. It is impossible.
Huge, very, very shocking revelation that a giant open field farm is not actually a good location for a combat zone.
Yeah. It's all right. We have to have some of the bad bases, otherwise there can be no good bases, right?
That's right. All the D tiers prop up the 2 or 3 A tiers. It's like a pyramid. The tier list pyramid.
Shadespire Farms. It is.
Yeah, I'm gonna say D. Yeah.
It has to be. I don't think it'd be a huge injustice to put this anything higher.
Yeah.
All right, so save that.
This fucking base.
Another one where it's like if you can make it to the point, it's cool, but otherwise it's terrible.
Waiting on the good bases.
Yeah.
All right, where are we at? Crux Mining. Oh boy. All right, so we all know why this base is pretty rough. However, it actually does have potential to be some of the longer farms because of the spawns that people can put into the A and B points. Now, across the broad spectrum, We don't want to just consider, you know, best case scenarios. But do you guys think that this is closer to the C tier or closer to B tier?
I'm gonna say C.
C?
It has to be C, because if it's a small fight, I'm falling asleep.
That's true.
The teleporter is not usually that great. A lot of vehicles can influence the fight pretty easily.
Yeah.
That's my problem with defending.
Buildings.
Is that like if you're fighting overpop here, the Sunnies on the points are really frustrating. I'd rather they moved, like made it impossible to drive Sunnies inside and then gave Sunnies, you know, a way to get cover out here.
Sure.
Like
what were you saying, Simple?
out to this road or something.
Simple. No.
What?
Were you saying something about one of the points?
People blob up, is what he said.
Oh, okay.
You just blob in the points.
Yeah.
Point buildings, that's what I mean. Big pop.
It is. It is typically like that.
Yeah,
all right.
Like C.
So C for that. Sweet. Anathan Northgate is next.
D.
D.
D maximum. This base is awful. Infiltrators on the tower, infills across the street. Air to ground, just shitting on your spawn room. You have a very good choice of, like, you know how Counter-Strike has like 3 lanes and stuff? You got 3 lanes at this base, but they all lead to the death of your entire play session, so we go D on this one for me.
Okay.
If you can get a flank on the point building from below, it can be nasty. Or if you just hold it, but other than that, it's shit.
And this is the... Oh, like you pretty much always go teleporter side here, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to. If you try to go the main route, you're gonna get shot at by vehicles.
This base is only saved because it has a teleporter to the biolab.
Yeah.
Sunny's in both building points in overpop with air to ground is digital cock and ball torture to defend.
Yeah.
I don't really like how, speaking of fucking more infantry terminals that are randomly placed, one inside of the double stack over here. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
The fight always happens over the point building, and you always have people, like if it's the 24 to 48 size fights or larger, you have people along all these ridges, you have people at the vehicle terminal, you have, of course, infiltrators and vehicles sitting up here shelling the spawn. It's awful. That's awful.
Yeah.
There's like very limited reason to go to the east side of the base here.
I jumped out on accident.
I figured.
Thank you. Yeah,
if you're really unlucky, the fight devolves into a fight over the street, and then you leave.
Yeah, it tends to only really get to that point though in the smaller side of things. I think it's one of those bases to me where it's very decisive. Like you don't really have too much back and forth unless there's an insane amount of pop fighting on both sides.
Yeah.
All right, East Anatha Kamare, please, sir.
High C, mate. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into B. It's too easy to get anti-infantry vehicles, like right up to the spawn room.
There's a jail cell somewhere for someone who put these teleporters in spawn rooms where they are. Because this base is okay when you can play in it. But what is this, dude?
This has to be one of the most commonly fought over base. Like this whole eastern, like stretch of East Anatha, then the Biolab, East Anatha or Northgate, East Shore Training Camp, Silver Valley. Like this is so commonly played at because it's just one straight lattice. But every time I play here, I either go through. I mean, you can actually kind of pick and choose whether you go teleport or not. This is one of the rare bases where you do kind of have the choice of which one to go through.
Yeah, because like neither of them are very good, so you don't feel compelled to take either one.
Right. Number one stream sniper base.
They could just remove the teleporter and just put the spawn room right here in the middle, and it would be better. By
Powerhouse door 2, you always have an infill. Are you talking about on the hillside?
That kinda is true.
Over here.
Yep. This hill always has infiltrators on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get it like a hash lightning on this little walkway over here to shell the building a little bit.
Right.
There's a terminal here that's actually pretty useful.
The one in here? It is.
Yeah.
It is. Might be one of the most useful ones, in fact.
It's up there. I like the space you can play in it.
When you can get to the actual base, yeah, it's all right. But like, here's my biggest gripe: this area right here. You can just drive an AI harasser through here and be uncontested.
Yep. So many vehicles, Sunderers, harassers. Sometimes a lightning will be there. It's very common.
It's just too easy to get vehicles into this little stretch of the terrain over here.
Yeah.
Best space we've seen in a minute, probably C tier.
Probably C tier. Yeah, I don't think it can't go higher for sure. I don't think there's a reason to put it much lower.
Yeah, I put it near the bottom of C tier.
Weird generator room. Teleporter.
What's that?
It's for a teleporter, the generator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Alrighty, this one.
East Shore is okay.
East Shore is okay.
But it has the same problem.
It does have an annoying thing where if you're attacking, the spawn room has an angle on these double doors for reasons.
That's fine.
I don't like it. I don't like getting semi-auto sniped from trying to attack the space.
Sometimes I feel like different people have designed these bases due to the change in the layout. Because initially we didn't have that many teleporters and main spawns being that far away and being out of cover. And then all of them suddenly start becoming shitty like these. Where you have to walk in open space.
I like the space because it's pretty, like, people will generally congregate on the point, and you can do the typical flank on top of the square, and that's okay. The problem is on the way there you have 4 guys playing Stalker, just AFK or eating food, watching the game happen, and then I show up to play and they kill me, or they shoot me and make me leave or something.
Yeah. It doesn't really help too that like your flank route is also being intercepted by their spawn / flank route, because they can have fucking buses like everywhere out here.
Yeah, and the best spot is actually like right here.
That is one of them for sure. Yeah.
Because it's not exposed to vehicles, so the defenders can have it. I kind of like that though, in terms of like the spawn survivability is pretty decent, and it's far enough away from the point that you're not like, actively reaching the point before defenders can.
I will say somehow, despite this space having existed for years, people still don't know about the flank route, and even though it's not the safest, it's still pretty okay. Like when you can use it, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I think this is a C. And it actually is one of the more attacker / defended balance type bases. Like, it's not super one-sided if you have equal pop.
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of that kind of balance, it definitely is up there. But,
all right.
it has too many little flaws.
Have a good night, Simple.
Good night.
Yeah.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
This fucking... Okay, this is like a D-tier base.
D-tier, yeah. We can go down the list, but, yeah, Road, mountain.
Exposed to vehicles to the point. Vehicles can shoot directly into the point with Hesh.
Yes. Yeah, this is super deep point.
Fucking hill. This actually might be F. This is close to F.
No, well, F tier is it's terrible in small, medium, and large fights. That is one thing to consider. Okay, in this, if you're in large fights, yes, it's fucking abysmal. If you're in medium fights, it's doable, and if you're in small fights, it's actually fairly okay because you just get to the powerhouse building, you fight there.
That's true. Okay, that's fair.
But this is definitely D tier.
Yeah, this is like the most solid D tier. This would be the title of the D tier category.
Yeah, the epitome of D tier.
And they're just the spacious.
Yeah. I don't think we need to cover too much about that. We all kind of know the reasons for why that one's pretty rough.
Yeah, we can skip the open field.
Speaking of F tier.
That's like, I don't know, that's a different tier. That's W tier. Man, this one.
What is this? Zealous Northgate? Oh yeah. No, this is brutal. This might be bottom of D tier.
Yeah.
I think this is bottom of D tier.
Set up on point and shoot people as they run across the open bridge from the spawn room. Sounds good to me.
Yep.
Your only real option is to take teleporter and
you have to go through teleport and go underneath. You cannot go through the main bridge.
But
this is another decisive
if they're smart enough to know that you can do that, they'll just set somebody up here with a sniper or saw, just mow you down as you try to push forward.
There's
Right.
never like a sustained fight over the point. It's always you own the point as an attacker and you're killing people out of the spawn room, or you own the point as a defender and you're farming them over the mountain as they like pathetically try to make their way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And attackers can put spawns like here and right over here, and just,
Yeah.
just like way closer to the point than you are.
Mm-hmm. That's a huge. All these bases with the road between spawn and the cap. That's
Yep.
a massive common problem on a lot of these bases.
Yep. These aren't even the worst examples. The worst ones to our west here.
Yeah.
Northwest.
So I think let's check something here real quick. Zealous and Northgate. Screenshot of that. Do we want to do the biolab real quick? Do we need to discuss that?
No, I think we can kind of cover all that, all the big bases in one
We can
go.
just blanket throw the bios in like 2024 biolab behavior. C
It's
tier.
way different.
2016, 2018 biolab behavior, A tier. I don't know, something like that.
If attackers can't spawn by the bridge, there's no underground, it's Jover. Yeah, absolutely. You can't do anything at like Zealous Northgate when they can just send the bridge the entire time. For me, because this tier list is based on infantry fights only, I think I'm naturally inclined to put the biolabs higher up, like either top of C tier or like bottom of B tier, purely because you don't really deal with vehicles in them.
Yeah,
and so
I'm gonna say B tier.
by nature they have to just be higher.
Yeah, B's fair. I'm just biased because I'm tired of spawning into bios and seeing 100 guys swarm this
Right.
and kill the fight in 2 seconds flat. So yeah, I like B.
Yeah. I think if we look at, again, considering all fight sizes across the board and averaging them out, it makes more sense to like lean on the side of there has to be something a little bit like it's better than average, right? That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
You know, it's still we're playing in Discord and there's we need to defend the biolab call. We all redeploy to go to it, you know?
Yeah, like your mood increases like a little bit.
5%, yeah. You know, Leroy logs back into the game, kind of.
No, my biolab.
All right, we'll put that for now, bottom of B tier. That's totally fine.
We could even go middle B tier for
Middle B tier.
relatively to how it works to the rest of the bases. It's pretty good.
It's better than the other biolab because we have the other Econom, like we have Econom biolab in V tier as well. So I think this has to go above the Econom biolab.
Yeah, Ignorance biolab is just why I like it. It's just too damn big for.
Yeah.
It is. Zealous West Air Dock.
I don't even
This
know.
one.
Unsurprisingly, there are some crazy farms that can happen here, but or not unsurprisingly, I said surprise. Did I say unsurprisingly? Surprisingly is what I meant. Surprisingly, there can be a large number of farms that happen here, like a large number of people, and you can still get good farm. I don't like the physical geographical layout of it because it either forces you to play light assault or it forces you to bounce down the hillside and approach from the same direction each time. But what do you guys think about, because there's really not too many other places where people are fighting at, maybe this ridge over here a little bit, maybe this building over here.
Yeah, it's basically this ridge over here where you try to push to the south side of the point, or you fall down over here one way or another to attack from the north. There's a couple ways you can get down into this little area here. The problem is, if you come this way, this is where attackers are usually pushing.
Right. Right. Over there, the attackers are dropping down and fighting outside that edge of the building.
Yeah.
DJ, do you
I wouldn't put this any lower than C, because there are some positives here.
Do you think this is one of those bases where it's either if you're attacking and you have the deployables, it's great, or if you're defending and you're fighting against the deployables, it's just awful? Like, this is a huge example of where the deployables really decide some of the quality of the fight.
I think the last time I fought at this base, there was someone point holding. They had baby gates on both doors, and there was a max on both doors behind the baby gates, and I won the fight. So, yeah, C is pretty okay. But I have had good fights, usually when it's small.
This has to be lower on the C side.
Yeah. I would definitely not put it higher than C. Easily a C or a D maybe.
Okay.
I think the only thing saving it from being a D is that you can get a beacon and pretty much have choice over where you want to fight.
Right. That is a big one.
Ooh,
This
F.
one's
I
tough.
want to say F because it's such an impractical base to play at. Maybe undeserving, but
All right. Where are we at?
Split Peak.
Oh. Yeah. One of the rare bases that has 4 points. So that's a huge negative because way too fucking
4
big.
square kilometers too.
This actually, yeah, I think this heavily deserves F tier. You know why? As a defender, even these lifts are fucking awful. You have to run forever to get from point to point. This base is bigger than middle bases. That's correct for some of them. And
like, you go across the bridge, across the street.
Yeah,
Like,
you know how terrible it is
jump
trying to any individual point here is absolutely abysmal trying to defend. The D point underground. Which one?
D is the only one
D?
that's playable because it's at least somewhat covered.
It's covered, but which route do you go through?
I'm thinking as a defender, I just go straight underground and blast people and then probably die.
Where's the entrance though? You go teleporter?
Teleporter gets you back there. That's okay.
Let me see.
Teleporter's through this shield right here. If I can get through it, I don't know if you can. No, you
can't. So what, that brings you underground or?
Yeah, we can get underground from over here.
There's a little cave connector into the.
So there's the 2 different cave entrances.
Yeah, the problem with D is you can get vehicles in here to
oh, I see.
Defenders really easily.
Yeah, I have sat in a bulldog harasser in here and killed 30 people at a fight before, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an F tier base.
If you. What Juice said is exactly right. If you are not playing infill, you were having a terrible fucking time at this base.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a pull base only.
Yeah. I don't think there's any reason to put it anywhere except for F. The only redeeming quality, the singular redeeming quality is if it's a super giga large fight and you have enough distraction happening where you can either drop or somehow manage to spawn and there's like maybe multiple fights happening at each point, but that's never happening. It just never happens.
Usually you're just getting chased down by one whole squad of people chasing you individually, and it's just.
I actually will give it one actual good point. This teleporter at this base is very good.
Is it?
Because it's very good because the spawn room is so bad, but it is much better than a lot of teleporters because it takes you pretty close to D point, and it gives you access to the vehicle terminal at the same time, which is cool, but the base is so bad that doesn't matter.
Okay. You can pull aircraft from here. That's it. That is a big upside. You can pull aircraft from here. All right, East Hills checkpoint.
F next. No, we can just fly over.
That's actually just yeah. No, I'm not even gonna disagree with you. That is very fucking bad.
We were talking about how like you gotta cross open road. This is the
dude.
Like,
this is the cross open road base.
Lattice. Look at this next base. This can't be higher than D.
Yeah, this is not a great base. There is one thing I like doing here though. Is if they're trying to get the flag, you can get LA with Icarus, take this jump pad, and you can always catch the flag carrier because you can get all the way to the little plant room.
Orbital waiting room.
But yeah, that's the only positive I have for this base. This base is also awful.
Yeah, on it always gonna be knocked down one peg for being a capture the flag base. There's no other way around it. Last time I was here, I think I was playing. It was me, Brodo, and someone else. We were in Lex's Discord. It was you, or you were. Yeah, we were in. Actually, yeah. I died to a Stalker infill, and I started playing Stalker infill with the Black Hand. That's what you had to do.
Yep. And me and Brodo were bolting, and that's all it was.
Yep. So, what is this base? Anafa Southwest Gate.
Yep. Another base where you can get a spawn really close to the point to hold it.
Yes. Yes. That is true.
And we didn't talk about that at East Hills. You can literally deploy one-way shield buses in the road.
Yeah. So we're putting that into F tier.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 back-to-back F tier bases right next to each other.
Insane.
That whole lane is just awful.
It is. No wonder everybody goes down the fucking far east lane and just completely circumvents this one.
Yeah.
All right. We shift over now.
Black Shard Tusk, we can go down that lane.
Yeah, we'll just connect through, wrap around. This is a relatively rare base to fight at.
almost okay. It has this like, if we ignore the whole air ground problem, this one's all in.
I've never fought over the point at this base in my life.
That's actually quite common with this base. It's very rare. Unless you're dropping and doing ops, you're not fighting over the point. You're fighting here underground and the areas around it. Maybe you get lucky, and if the attackers gain a little bit of space, you'll fight over some of these upper buildings, but a lot of times it tends to lead to the underground section. Black cock tongue in your ass. Mine, what the fuck?
Yeah.
B tier base.
I like it when it's a small fight.
Yeah.
Even
High
medium
C,
fights,
low
this
B.
base is okay.
Yeah.
What did you say, Effect?
High C, low B. I wouldn't go.
High C, low B. I feel like this actually is one of the worst scaling bases. You can only play this smaller medium. Like,
Yeah,
you cannot do a large fight here. So because of that, because there's no playability in large scale at all, I think you have to put this in C.
That's fair.
I will say it's a really good like blob stopper for some reason. Maybe they like.
You're right.
I don't
You're
know.
right.
It's weird because I can't get to the point as a defender ever, of course, but
The
it just
attacker
kind of
can't-
works out. When I see people go to Black Shard, I'm like, ooh, you know, something's about to happen.
Yeah.
It's good angles for defenders to hold. There's not any way for ground people to have too much impact, like in the underground area, which, like, who cares?
Yeah.
It's
This
air
base
ground
is
low,
fine.
but that's the same for every fucking base.
Battle buses and air to ground at prime time. Air to ground is horrendous here. You know, some of the stupidest things though, like that fucking jump pad area where people are lifting up, and like these two jump pads, because they put buses down here and people lift up. Some of the freest farm of all time as the defender.
Yeah.
If people are lifting up here.
Bolt.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think that's good. I slapped into C.
Yeah.
Crux headquarters.
Capture flags. That's down one.
That's
Decent
down one by
facelift, okay.
default.
I do like that they added this middle area. That wasn't there before that.
We have
Yeah, it's
3
something-
Fs already voted in the chat. Wow,
Gives you
that's
a reason to
nice.
cross the road and die for no reason. Yeah, okay. It's new and renewed, guys. Listen, this base is okay. You know, you can. I don't know. I can't do it.
I like fighting in any of the individual buildings, but getting to them is just such a hassle.
Yeah, I'm down to put F on this one.
You know why the teleporter in this base sucks so bad? Is because it takes you to the capture the flag spot. And capture the flag is just so fucking awful. So it's incentivizing you to play with their game mode that's terrible. So I think that drags it down by default.
Yeah, this is bad.
When this was a point base, when there was multiple points, because wasn't there one? There wasn't one in this L shape by the teleporter, was there?
There was. It was B
There
point.
was. Yeah,
Oh, there
you
was.
were-
Okay, yeah. So automatically
where
just
it is now.
destroy this fight because they got rid of
Oh.
that. All right, yeah, F tier.
Yeah, the current A point, the current C point, and then the flag to our by the teleporter. Those were all the points.
Outstanding. Wow.
F tier. The only, I mean, I do like how they added this thing in the middle, so you can actually kind of cover where there's just an open space of nothing.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Still
both.
not great.
It's cool they added it so you can have cover, but it sucks they added it so you have a reason to go and get shit on in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Without you doing anything, cool base, TP Polaire, air to ground
That's true.
vehicle central, and multiple open roads and lines of sights to try to get to the point. There are a lot of vehicles that will show up at this base. A lot. Where do we go next? McCulloch cart mining.
Rare.
Yeah.
You do have to cross an open road, but there are 3 bridges.
Guys, there's a mine cart there.
There's
That's
action.
epic.
Yeah,
Epic
woo.
mine cart. Oh, it's gone.
Rail
Damn.
car.
Okay, well, you know, unlike, I don't know.
It's
Oh.
better than a lot of the it's better than E-Sales, but I wouldn't put it higher than C.
If high pop D tier, C tier otherwise.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning with the
Just,
C
yeah.
tier.
Useless crescent.
What is this crescent area? Actually, there's a terminal in there.
Actually, it's not useless. I got killed by a bolter from there once.
The crescent is so that you can shoot at vehicles at Crux. That's the purpose of this crescent.
This
That's
is
true,
so
yeah.
bad.
It's a weird one.
It's unusual. There definitely should be some reason to go here, but there isn't.
There isn't. Yeah, another siege design base. Exactly.
Yep.
They love designing bases as if things are going to get
sieged. Really good
sieged.
base in 2013. It was probably a different base in 2013. I don't remember.
Yeah. All right, so I'm leaning with that one actually towards D rather than C. Are we okay with that?
I could be talked down to D, yeah.
Okay. And that was McCullough card.
F tier.
McCullough cart.
I kind of like Ox Compound, but it has its problems.
It does have problems, but if you it does have a good teleporter. You can take a couple different routes. It has an underground route to get to the building, but it usually gets camped out, obviously. But
vehicles usually aren't that bad here.
Yeah.
Usually.
Until you get out of the point room.
Usually.
There's some like mag riders can get in annoying spots, but they're like an exception to the rule. But
This
I want to say B tier.
This feels like a, if it's anything larger than like the 1 to 12, 12 to 24, you have to play light assault.
That's true, yeah.
You need to be able to get on the roof.
You gotta do light assault or beacons for sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This base can be unplayable, but that's like every base. I think on average, it's usually an okay fight.
Yeah, on
it's
average,
worth checking out usually.
there.
Yeah, the underground section would be so much better if it wasn't a tiny fucking choke point that you would run up through.
Yeah, I wish the underground section had multiple routes to take to the bottom of the building.
The lightning drive that gets in the base. Buses will get in here all the time, you know, if they, even with the shield up because they have GSD, if they do that, that's obnoxious as hell.
Yeah.
It's all right. B or C.
Low B, high C, yeah.
I think I'm going to lean more on the side with this on high C.
Yeah, okay.
That's fair.
Wait. McCullough auxiliary compound.
Yep.
Okay. I just forgot the exact name.
F tier base on the next one.
Oh, yeah, it's up there. You know, this is one of those foundational bases. In the sense that this base is the foundation of the tier list pyramid, and it stays at the bottom.
The only positive I can think of is I blew up that loser who was on the hill of the Prowler.
That's true.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true.
That's
The
good.
only upside of this base is you killed the guy heshing the spawn room. Yeah, that's good.
I've had many fights at this base. They cooked on the window of the double stack by the infantry pad. Like, up here?
Oh. Yeah, I love getting shot from there when I run up to the point from spawn.
Oh, yeah, I love getting shot from there. I love all the bolters and tanks that get on this ridge behind us, behind the spawn room teleporter.
Nah, bro, they put a big wall and they buried half the base. So that definitely. Oh wait, but wait, the tanks are above the. Yeah.
Oh, the other side. Wait, other side?
The double stack, not the mini. The one by the vehicle.
Oh.
Oh, the infantry terminal. Yeah. Okay, never mind.
They cooked on the window of the double stack.
Yeah. Oh, this window's like half. Yeah, go to the window. This is a goofy one. I know you're talking about now.
This?
Wait, is this it? Yeah, look at the window. It's like embedded into the bottom of it.
Oh, huh.
Yeah.
That's
intentional or not. I don't know.
Interesting.
I forgot about that in the space.
Did it prevent you from getting in?
They should have left that door open.
I'm gonna check something. When you're saying they cooked, you mean like it's an insane head glitch?
I just think it's because it's silly and stupid.
Maybe. I guess I can see this. Yeah, like if you're farming the people who are coming from the spawn, you get a little bit more cover. Can't jump. I don't think you can.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't jump.
Yeah, you can. You can crouch to it.
You can. It doesn't. Okay.
As a light assault main, I find that classist.
So this has to be F tier.
Yep.
We cannot vote for anything else.
That's easily
easy F tier. Yeah, and what was that called?
A Rexham substation.
Rexham substation. I get the names mixed up so many fucking times. You could tell me most of the names of the base, and like unless it's the really obvious ones, I won't remember them. But you could tell me the exact layout of the base, and I'll always remember it. Raxicum substation. F tier. And we were at Araxis Firearms Corps, which was this ever a capture the flag base?
I don't think so, no.
No?
No.
Okay.
Whatever you're thinking, I might be thinking it too. I don't think it was.
Okay. Teleporter, and not really the worst teleporter in the game. The only problem is that okay, you still have to go through like 2 fucking doorways.
I mean, the teleporter is good, but where you are after the teleporter, I mean, there's always a bus on the point. Sorry, between the point and your spawn. So
yeah, 8 points definitely the worst of the 3 points here for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Has a weird powerhouse. Has the wall on the fat stairs.
Yep, battle buses.
Okay, but it kind of isolates the people just camping the door one you have to run into. And light assault's pretty strong here. You can hop on top of this.
So strong. Yeah.
It's like halfway required when it gets high enough pop.
Yeah.
You can keep using LA and get the B and C either choice very easily.
I'm never excited about fighting here.
Really easy to lick the spawn as attackers, which is kind of problematic, but I do think the one sort of redeeming quality of this base is that regardless of the fight size, whether it's small, medium, or large, you have options of where to fight at. Even if it's a super large fight, you can at least still get kills from the spawn room. You can play light assault, get on the roof, drop down on people. There's always going to be some type of action happening here.
Yeah, 50 pop, this is usually a guaranteed, like, I can find something to do.
Right.
Yeah, there's always activity here. You're not too far away from the action.
Right.
Well,
too easy to camp the roof.
Bases, though.
Yeah.
Underground is 90% of bases, so that's, like, just something we kind of have to deal with.
That is true. I mean, it's a constant that we're always considering as part of our decisions with these bases.
You know, for me, I'm probably an outlier, but for some reason, I guess I got lucky and have not really had huge air-to-ground problems here.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe I just don't go to this space whenever it looks bad. Maybe I only go here when it looks good. Honestly.
What did we say for that last base? Were we throwing that into C?
Araxicom substation was F.
No, Firearms Corps.
AFC, I wouldn't put it any higher than C.
Like low C?
Low C, yeah.
Probably. Okay. Firearms Corps, yeah, it just makes sense to me because, like I said, at least if we consider the fact that it can't be A or B unless it's like playable in all 3 fight sizes, at least this has the all 3 fight sizes thing, so I think it keeps it in C. The big problem of it is just it's a large base. It is a little bit clunky to get around in. Speaking of clunky to get around in, holy fuck, dude, this base sucks ass, man.
Sometimes you can get really good
small
fights,
it can be okay.
Very unusual. Yeah,
the
issue is
exclusively a small fight base.
The point that the attackers are supposed to take control of is higher than both of the spawn rooms. So huge problem.
Yeah.
And there's there's no way for defenders to get up high without playing LA.
Yeah, you have to take the lifts up. You have to play LA. It's very obnoxious.
If that weren't the case, the space would be good.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest.
Because I think the inside, despite being clunky, it's actually okay.
Is there... I'm going to drop out real quick because I want to check something. Ugh. So I think you can get... There's an underground section, if I remember. Is it here?
Very unusual interior to the mountain, basically, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's right here. So you can get into this area, and then you have basically this triple stack, which is the point itself. So... I guess you can approach from whatever the fuck this is at.
Yeah, basically that's the way for attackers to get to the point.
So
I've fought down here 1 or 2 times.
Really rare to see anything actually happening in this section, though.
Yeah.
Because where did the attackers? You have, I guess, these lifts down here, and so they're trying to do this like multi-layered design where you're supposed to approach from the ground floor, because this is the actual spawn location, like the standard spawn location of the Sunderer. So you come here, they want you to fucking pogo all the way up, I guess.
Yeah, this is one of the better Sunday garages because it doesn't expose the bus to a gazillion miles away from lightnings.
They
Oh, right.
almost cooked here. I'll say that.
They
Almost.
almost cooked, yeah. It's so close.
The fights here that happen are always at 2 a.m. That's
True.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's either that or some other type of weird off-hours stuff or off-content stuff.
I don't know what to give this. It can't be higher than C.
It cannot be higher than C.
Can't be
I'd
lower.
be okay
I'm gonna
with
say.
D.
I'm gonna say C.
This
I
is
think
the,
there
it
is
just feels like a
potential
C tier base. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm okay
there.
with
Yeah,
that.
if the spawns were higher, I'd move it up to B.
This is what
Spawns
High
were
Road
higher, maybe
Station.
The inside had a little bit more redo. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of C tier bases, but it makes sense. It's the bell curve.
It's the video game.
Yeah, planets.
Planet C2.
Planets.
Baruch Electrical.
Baruch, bro. That's an I.
Barrack.
Barrack Electrical. Okay, for those who know, this is an S tier base. For those who know, it is S tier.
Base.
I do particularly enjoy fighting here.
It's alright.
High Road Station.
C, B. Where I would put it.
I'd put this B.
This is a B tier base if and only if you are not fighting, like, the 1 to 12s are kind of fucking brutal here. Everything else that's slightly larger than that
true.
is totally fine.
That's true. This is a rare one where it's actually really not that great when it's small.
D for delete, no. The most useless infantry pad in the game? Where's that at? Where is the infantry pad?
It's upstairs. It's broken on the minimap. It's in that upstairs small I building.
Upstairs
The
small
one
eye
you're
building.
looking at. Oh no, wait. Oh, it's under the thing. Oh my god, you're right. This is the VR training building.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
Wait, what? Hold on.
It's down there. Bro,
Oh,
you have to go
with
down
this?
to Narnia to kill it, to use this thing. The only reason you use it is to switch to light assault to get back out of the pit.
That is pretty
I didn't know
fucking
that was
awful.
there. I thought it was in the building, man. Wow.
You can deploy buses, I think. Can't you deploy buses down here, like right in this spot right here, or is it just you have to have it being driven?
I fought harassers down here. I don't know.
I know I've fought in buses that here. I don't know if you can deploy or not, but I know someone was like in the bus and people were responding off of it.
Yeah, because you can drive a bus. They need to put some kind of blocking for vehicles in this corner here.
So the reason why we're
Obviously,
saying,
like this, but
if you know, you know, the joke was that, so back, maybe several months ago, myself, Lex, I think AJ was here with us too, and like one other person, we held 4v30 for 45 minutes straight and had insane, all of us 60 plus kills. Like it was great. We had some giga farm here, and then they finally gave up and left the base because we just farmed them so hard. This big lacks cover, but the thing is you're always fighting underground though, because the Sunder garage, go fly over to the Sunder garages real quick.
As long as you can make it underground, this base is pretty good.
Is raiding the ship
Yeah,
with
that's the
21
key.
And they
kills.
don't have vehicles there, and all their issues.
Oh, you mean underground it lacks cover? Yeah.
The water still slows you down, doesn't it?
The what?
The water.
The
around
water.
The point.
There's
Yeah,
water?
it's like knee-deep water.
There's no
Ankle-deep
water here.
Isn't there?
Yeah, over here on this.
You're walking in.
Oh, what
yeah.
the f...
It slows you down, doesn't it?
I never noticed
Yeah.
this.
I don't feel any slower.
It used to slow you down then.
Hold on.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Doesn't feel any different.
Okay, then I'm pretty sure it used to slow you down. That, or I'm just making shit up. But that was annoying. But I guess if that's not there anymore, then good.
Yeah, if they put some bollards up to prevent vehicles from getting underneath. in a
Placebo
cover area.
water. Yeah, no, the bollards need to be put in here. There's no reason why vehicles should ever be able to get that close to the point like that.
Yes.
So I do think that, yes, in the smaller fights, it's pretty fucking abysmal, but you're typically avoiding vehicles and air to ground. So to me, this, like, infantry only, this feels like a B tier base.
Yeah, give it a B. It
I
forces
think
people
that's
to get
fine
out
in
and play.
B. Right. They have to play the game. All right. Throw that into B real quick.
I think B is fine.
All right.
Another base that I almost really like.
Ooh, Araxium Cryobank.
Biobank, yeah.
Rare one.
This
This
is
is almost
really
really
rare.
good.
It makes people leave the vehicles unless they know how to get up top.
Yeah. There are some annoying spots that like a Prowler can get, or Prowler Mag Rider can kind of get angles on, but they do have limited firing arc, so to speak.
Fly me above the point real quick. So if I remember correctly, oh yeah, this is the base that has the really weird, like this shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is kind of scuffed, but
There's air to ground, you're done.
Where does the teleporter take you?
Just 10 feet below the spawn room.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be there.
And it just leads to down here?
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's as useless as you think it is.
Yeah, it's a completely pointless teleporter.
So we
But there are
have
some...
the defenders with the height advantage, which is hilariously rare in this game.
Yeah. You can
But
go
where
down
do the
here.
buses spawn, or where do the buses typically deploy?
Across the street.
Across the street, you can get
That's
to
why
a
it's good.
garage
What
down
is
this
this?
long-ass tunnel.
Yeah, it's an elevator. It's not even a teleporter.
These tunnels can lead to really good farms.
Yeah, I can see why.
Well, even in a small fight, it can lead to like good fights too.
Here's the garage.
In a way, not in the tunnels, but
There's a
what the
mega
tunnels force
eye
people
shape
to
they
do.
put two eye shapes together.
yeah.
This is one of the better garages in the game.
I can see why. It's
alright. It's
kind
a
of
little
hard
far,
to
though.
shoot the Sunderer unless you're right behind it.
Yeah.
What usually happens in the bigger fights is they'll park on the bridge because they don't really know anything about the game, so they just park once they show up at the base with 100
Yeah.
people.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
thing
they
is,
run
though-
into the Giga Eye, and then you fight in there for a little bit.
the
Yeah, that's the
Giga
thing is
Eye.
that a lot of people don't know about the tunnel. That's the thing. 'Cause
Yeah, I didn't know about the
Further
tunnel
away.
here. The Giga Eye, dude. I wish this was a thing more in more bases. This is sick. Holy fuck! Imagine the farm. You're just sitting here on a right angle, and you just boop, refresh, right angle,
Yep.
boop, refresh, like instantly just
That's how it
fucking
goes.
destroy people. That's so sick.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they run across that open thing, and you're in here waiting. It's pretty good. This
God,
has
this.
the spawn tubes as like props and not actual spawn tubes.
The
So you
actual
can sit in there
point.
and they don't see you.
The actual point. I don't
Right.
because
It's paranoia simulator.
like you have to be right next to it in the open. There's no cover at all.
Yeah, in order to capture it.
So it's like, oh well, I hope I don't get backhanded by 3 stalkers.
You can not even be over. Like you can be in this corner right here, and that's about your safest option.
Yeah.
Part of the thing that screams to me with this base is like it's deceptively. It looks somewhat small, but it's deceptively fucking huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
That's why the spawn room is so far away.
The
Because
point is for
they're
blob
trying to keep it
resonades.
somewhat central,
Yeah,
but
I-
it's the lack of cover is inexcusable.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the lack of cover, I'd move it up to B, but I think it's C.
this feels like a C tier base for sure.
It's nice to go to for the novelty, but that's about it.
Right. One of those bases where I can't imagine it plays super well on anything except for 12 to 24 and higher. Like, there's no way this plays good with a small player base.
It definitely is like a hold the point until you can't anymore, and then leave.
Yeah.
Like once the point's gone, the fight is definitely lost.
All right, C tier for that, and we move over to Zealous South
Granite.
Bridge. Oh, Granite Valley. Never mind, I missed one.
Yep.
Another 8-point tower base, actually.
Ooh, we do actually
This is a good one.
have the
I like
point
this
in
one
the
a lot.
tower. Wait, is it down below?
No, it's in the normal spot.
Is it in the normal spot? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
All right.
this is a solid A. I like this one a lot. The vehicles kind of ruin it sometimes though, air to ground. But you know, 8-point in the tower is pretty huge. Small fights, people get absolutely farmed out of their gourd here, so I like it.
You can take LA and get over to C point pretty easily, which is nice.
Good XPX
And-
base too.
The bridge actually has cover on it.
Yep.
Actual
Other
cover.
point is a little interesting. Not too bad.
It's definitely different, and I don't mind it because it's 2 L shapes smashed together, so you can't really go wrong with that.
Yeah, that is a pretty unique feature you only see here. It actually does play quite well in the small 1-12s. Because the points aren't that far away. Yes, it's a 3-point base, but it's not that far away from the original spawn.
Man.
Attackers can't put a bus right here, but I think that's fine at a 3-point base.
The scale does have an S. I've gotten 2 votes for S so far.
I'm thinking about it. The only thing that kind of puts me off is I do remember coming out of the spawn and spotting a guy sniping on a mountain literally 320 meters away. Not that one. The other. It's the southeast mountain or southeast mountain.
Southeast mountain, over here.
That one. Yes, he was literally on top of this mountain shooting at my spawn room. So I don't know.
I don't know about S.
But...
I wouldn't go that high because there's.
Let's put it this way. We only have one base in A so far, and that's Sungray Westgate. I think it's okay to put this into A, and we can always come back to it later on if we need to make some shifts. So what is this, Granite Valley Garrison?
Yeah, it's the best base we've seen so far.
I think so too.
For sure.
Absolutely. Automatically gets A tier just for having a point inside the tower.
Yeah.
Now we come to this piece of shit.
So yeah, in contrast. What did someone send out roads? How about an entire fjord, bro, between your point and your spawn?
Like, you don't want to like jump across the jump pad and have run into a cobalt vehicle just watching.
No, Biolabs get B. Biolabs got rated B tier. Current 2024 Biolabs are just not that good. Yeah, the jump pad is a death sentence because, you know, everyone's sitting in the fucking triple stack most of the time. This one.
Another base where attackers have a huge advantage because they can put the bus right over here.
It's better to use the Biolab jumper than this one.
Yeah, because the Biolab jump pad takes you to this jump pad right here.
Yeah.
It's still super exposed, but at least you're close to the point.
That's true.
You can feather jump jets or something. Maybe you can just hold D and make it to the point building. I don't know the distance.
From the lift? So. I can try it. Bring me to the lift real quick.
Yeah, with jump jets you can easily make it. I do it every time.
Not to this one.
Jump jets for sure.
If you don't have jump jets, I don't think you can make it.
I'm thinking from the...
From this one? Like the spawn side?
About the Biolab jump.
Oh, the Biolab jump.
Yeah, you can make it to both the adjacents with light assault, easy.
Yeah. Biolab jump, let me check.
This is a big point holder base though, because they'll just sit
It is such a big point holder base, yeah. And it's really difficult. It's extraordinarily difficult to do any, like, you just don't have any flanking routes. The fucking triple stack on the point triple stack just can see everything.
Yeah.
So, what does this lift you from here? Wow. Apparently you start losing height, which is really strange.
Yeah, you gotta go closer to the end of the jump.
Okay.
It's easier to make that with
but you can definitely make it.
Yeah, for sure.
Drifters just slow you down.
Yeah, it just started sinking me. But anyway, so yeah, I am inclined to put this in D tier, if not F tier.
Yeah, it's a D easily.
D at the highest, but I'm tempted F.
It doesn't really play well at all, no matter what the fight size is.
That's an F.
That's an F. That's an F.
Yeah. Eastern Amerish just has a lot of F.
What base was that again? I just already forget. Zealous Southbridge. Okay.
Don't worry, guys. We'll get to the A tiers eventually.
We already got 2 of them.
Yeah, 2. We already got 2. Yeah,
the copium.
Don't worry. Only half of this content's bad. I'm sure the other half is good.
Oh no.
Raven Landing.
Huge fan of giving PS2 bases F tier. Me too. Oh, the Sunday garage is useless on the last base? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a pointless one for sure.
Oh, all right. So we've all played this base a trillion times, as per the other single center bases. I have a lot of memories here, whether it be point holding stuff, attacking, defending the base, early morning, late night. I'm comfortable playing at this base. Like, as an individual, my personal opinion of it, I honestly don't think it's terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think it's like an A tier base. I would put this And anything except for the most egregious amounts of pop, I would probably put this B tier.
I think I agree, because this base the fights can look different. You can have like the attackers can park at the ammo tower, they can park at either of the 2 other bridges, and depending on what you do there, it makes the fight look completely different.
Yeah.
Either we'll be fighting over the point, we'll be fighting over one of the 2 bridges. Like,
I wish there was something to block vehicles from this line of sight right here.
yeah,
absolutely, absolutely.
People will sit here with tanks. Air to ground is kind of bad, especially if you're not fighting on the point. The point is literally just fighting over the balcony, which is a little awful.
Yeah.
There's a tank on the mountain always.
Yes, if there was something to block this, I would probably move this up to B. But
Bulldog Galaxies on top of the hill.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's actually super common to this base, more than any other I can think of off the top of my head.
And the bolters, like she just said. Yeah, I don't think it's too it's not too strange to see and think that that's going to happen consistently at this base, but at least in these smaller fights, it is less common. However,
if it's 50 pop, the Bulldog doesn't last that long.
If it's 50-50 pop, you got to remember, guys, yes, we do want to think about scaling the fights from the small, medium, large, but it's always, we're putting it on the basis of, is it a 50-50 fight? And in that circumstance, you're just not going to have those things be lasting as long. So if it's a smaller fight, 50-50 is not going to be there in the first place. If it's a 50-50, 12 to 24 or 24 to 48, yeah, you might have it for a little bit, but people are typically going to deal with it. And if it's a giga large fight somehow for whatever reason, then it's definitely not going to stay up there for very long.
Yeah.
The point's awful, though. I will say that.
Yeah, not a fan.
Fighting over upstairs that building is kind of bad.
If you can, if the fight is either as the defender, you're holding the point and you're fighting people coming up from the southwest hill, or if you're a defender playing around this pad, fighting people coming up from the east side, then there can be some really good farm. I just think that it's a base that does really only play in the small and medium sized fights. You don't really play here in the large fights.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
So I guess if that's the case, then if we would only consider B, A, and S doable if it's playable in all 3 sizes of fights, or no, let's say B, you have to at least be in 2 of them. A and S, you have to be, you know, acceptable, if not outright good, in all 3 sizes. So in this case, this would have to be no more than B.
I'd say it's a C or a B.
C or B?
C.
It has a pretty wide range of what it can be.
Okay.
Because it's not good, and the bigger fights, I'd say C.
I'm okay with the C then. That's totally fine. Raven Landing. All right.
All right, for the Ascent, we got to ignore the 90% use case of this base, which is sitting AFK in the tunnel.
Well, you don't want to show... I want to show off my thing, though.
No.
Hold on. Your thing? Are you talking about the harasser thing?
Not do that.
Yes.
I don't.
I must show the people.
We gotta show it. We gotta show it. I'm putting Raven Landing at like the top 3 of C. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right, let's go take a look here. Hop in.
Meanwhile, I do like B point at this base. A point's fun when you're fighting over it because the cavern is unironically kind of cool and it flows.
When you're inside the cavern, it's great.
Infills make it kind of cancer though. And then
oh
shit
boy,
makes it unplayable. So C point is an afterthought.
C point is just, I don't even consider C point to be part of this base. Yeah, this is gross. That is really gross. I dislike everything about this, and I am absolutely disappointed and disgusted in you finding this.
And there's also another angle. If they get pushed, if they do push in, but you can still drive in safely.
Not the other angle, bro. This base does ruin the entire map.
Yeah, this is fucking disgusting.
People love the tunnels, and
you could effectively head glitch the harasser here.
Yeah, that is so disgusting.
I put this on Reddit. It's gotta be
because
it has interesting things in it. It's just as a whole, it's kind of crap.
As a center base, here I'll give it this extra unnecessary rating. As a center base, I think it's terrible. I think it is actually F tier center base because it is always sitting in the tunnels. Yeah. Maybe D tier center base. I don't know. But
you can
like a normal fight base. I don't know.
You can only have. I feel like you can only have really good fights here if it is the fight happening over the B point section, where you have people. The Sunderer is like in the garage down here, and you have people working their way up the hill, and the fight is happening between B point and the garage. That's one thing that comes to mind. The only other situation is when it's not in the tunnel entrances, but around A point and like the large open area mass of the cave itself. Otherwise, it is a mess to fight here. Yes, there can be a lot of farm, but it's obnoxious. There's 10 trillion vehicles at all times, so you always have to deal with that.
I think
I can't call this a great base by any stretch of the imagination.
The part that I actually enjoyed, like fighting here, is between B and the tower. Usually people were just like AFK shooting into the tunnels of this stage of the fight, and so I'll like show up at the tower and shoot people who are completely clueless that part even exists.
Yeah.
Which that's okay, but I don't know. C point's bad. A point's cool on A point.
The guys pull. Oh yeah, if you put a Sunderer on top of the mountain, your game should crash and be uninstalled.
you actually deserve to be like team killed.
100%. Yeah.
That is instant F tier.
Yeah.
If that happens.
Yeah. Hardware ID banned.
This can't
I
be better
wouldn't
than
say.
C.
I wouldn't put it any higher than D, honestly.
No,
I
actually am totally okay with putting this into D tier. Even though some of the best, most insane high KPM farms can be had here, it still feels fucking obnoxious to play at this base.
That's before you consider the stupid bullshit I just pulled.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think anybody would be upset with me putting this into D tier.
Absolutely not.
Time for another garbage base.
The Ascent.
I may or may not have tabbed for just a second and the
dude
flew off.
I saw that. Or I heard it rather.
I know what you're talking about. Nothing happened. Didn't pull a Valkyrie.
If it wasn't a center base, you'd have less negative feelings about it.
I think I agree with that.
The only thing about this base is, man, you cannot play it 1 to 12. It's physically impossible.
It is terrible.
It is actually impossible. Yeah. So if it wasn't the center base, you probably wouldn't be able to play it here at all because it is.
It'd be a split peak.
It's a split peak. It's literally just a worse split peak or a better split peak is what it is.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to counter for the fact that it's a center base a little bit when I say that it could be a C, but I think it really is just not a good base. I don't think it's played because it's the middle.
Am I all right? And we just fly over this base. This is a D tier base for me.
Yeah, this is nothing to talk about.
Like, does anybody have any objections to this just being a D tier base? Because it's fucking awful.
I'd move it into F tier because that's how fucking bad it is.
Yeah.
I've had okay fights. Small fights, it can be fine.
That's the only time when it's fine, though.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's one category, so it's just D tier.
Yep, solid D tier.
Rock slide out. D tier. All right, where are we at?
Iraq's Com Network Hub.
Yes, the base we've all fought over 1 billion times too.
This one's better, but still not great.
This base has the problem that all of the most popular fan favorite bases have. As people play it more, they optimize the fight more, and it becomes more and more dog. This is such a terrible fight when people show up trying to take it, but it's actually pretty good when people were just playing the game normally.
What AJ said is precisely right. This is NFFN's favorite base.
It is. And when they show up, it's a D tier. If they're not there, and it's just normal people playing the game and not like throwing 100 deployables on point,
right,
it's pretty okay. I like it.
This may or may not be the place where every time I see an NFN on the point, I
orbital strike it.
No, I anvil in a Hesh Lightning and
Oh,
Just
yeah.
quit.
That one. I just got in, says Junks Dude. Please repeat what DJ said.
Basically, the fan favorite bases in this game are fan favorites because they're pretty good, but as people play them over and over and over again, they min-max and optimize the fun out of it, and it becomes actually just unplayable half the time.
Yep.
This has the NFFN effect. They put 100 deployables on point and anvil a harasser in and an ant, and they kill you with vehicles and stuff because just playing the game at a fun base is not acceptable.
Yeah. This dumbass hill over here gives you like stupid angles on the spawn rooms. So, like as you try to push out, you just get mowed down by vehicles. It's
Right.
fun.
Right. This might be the base where I have been air to grounded more than any other base.
Dude, B tier base, D tier fights.
True. Actually, unironically, teleporter, not the best, and definitely not the worst. I wish so fucking desperately, man. All they have to do to make that teleporter be like just marginally viable, but actually honestly usable.
Make it a mini stack.
Yeah, bring it out over here. Do something so you don't have to leave, like leads you over here. I want to flank from this route.
If they made the building that it goes into a mini stack, so you can leave the top or the bottom floor,
right,
it'd be instantly +1 letter.
Yeah, absolutely. I really think that this is D tier though.
E tier, that's brutal.
I would maybe push it into C tier, but
I'd have to agree. I can't say D. No way.
You think with C? Okay. Well, it does fit. It does fit into the category of it's fine in 1 to 12s and it's 5 and 12 to 24s, but it's not fine in large fights.
It's not, and it is actually one of the worst air to ground bases because the mountain gives free cover for air to ground.
Right. Right. Okay. All right. I'm fine with moving into C. C is totally fine with that.
Low C.
Low C for sure.
The D argument. Yeah. I guess I'm trying to not think about how bad it can be.
Right, right. Just from like the 50-50 perspective, you know, you have an even fight. You're going to be dealing with underground no matter what. I can see it being... It is the point holder's dream, though. They love this base so much, man.
Oh, this next one. Man, Rel really cooked with this one, and it came out charcoal.
He went to the store, but he had to get stuff to drink, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I forgot to turn the oven off. It was on for 12 hours."
Yep.
So this is another one. They look what they did to my boy and took the point out of the tower. They also destroyed the wall, so there's no way to get to the tower besides running across the open road between it and the other points.
Yeah, you know, when you get 100 bombs at this base, AJ, is when you have 48 to 96 people and half of those people are fighting the fucking B point building and or the tower.
Honestly, no, it's great. Oh, this tower looks weird. This is still a good base though, because these guys don't realize you don't have to go in the tower, so they do, and then they get farmed. It's the muscle memory of 10 years of running into the tower and dying, so I think I like it.
It's a Granite Valley Garrison, but bigger and worse.
Outside of really
true. That's true, yeah.
This
also,
point over here.
Fuck this stupid ass point, man. Holy shit, get it out of the game.
Well, I've never fought at this point before. I never will. There's no reason. I leave after we leave B point.
Yeah, this has got to be an F tier base.
F tier? No.
This is not F tier. I think this is D tier. You can't.
I could accept D.
You can't give it C though, because it's abysmally bad at 1 to 12s.
It's just terrible. It used to be a B tier at least.
And
now it's just butchered. So,
it is abysmally bad at super high population fights too.
Yep.
It's just no cover to get to C.
Go to C. C's
you
not allowed
cannot go to C. You cannot go to A. You're fighting over B the entire time. So yeah, you might get some farm, but at the base as a whole, it's really fucking awful to fight at.
I'd say it's D tier until they stop going in the tower. Once they learn to stop going in the tower because there's no reason to, then it's an F tier.
Yeah.
So it depends on who's here then. I'm still leaning towards F personally, but I will accept D.
All right, we'll throw into D.
Okay, next up is...
Bastion.
We were talking about attacker defender sided bases. We're coming up to one of the worst examples of that. Best examples even.
We're not even there yet. It's F, 100%. Actually, I take that back. That's not F.
Lithcorp Central. All right. Might be one of the best teleporters in the game.
Yeah, required.
By default. It just wins by default.
Yep.
It's just you kind of have to use it. It's like
big fights, it's either the worst base in the game or pretty good. Small fights, it's usually okay.
Yeah.
People don't really know how to defend here. They just or defend the point, that is. They just kind of run up there and go AFK.
Yeah. S tier defense.
Looking up is
definitely
impossible for 90% of players, so it's pretty okay.
It's definitely extremely defender-sided.
It is very defender-sided.
It hasn't happened in a while, but like a few years ago, when Amerish first opened, nobody would go to Cent. They'd all come fucking here for some fucking reason.
Yeah, yeah.
Once the Sunday enters the point, it is much worse.
Yeah, that is the problem. Is it's not particularly difficult to get vehicles from either side onto point.
You always play on the roof. There's really no reason to play on the ground level. That's true.
Very air-to-ground prone base.
Because it has such a discrepancy on the attacker defender side, that has to move it down one letter by default.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we even look at it from its best angle, half of the base just doesn't exist. There's no reason whatsoever to play by the crescent. None.
Yeah, the crescent serves no real purpose for sure. It's just the turret's there. That's about it. And the turret's
can barely even beacon the crescent. Like, you can third faction beacon the crescent and kill like the 2 BR5s leaving the spawn for the first time, and that's like all you got. Everybody else already knows, just go teleporter.
Right. Crescent has beacon drop. Actually incorrect information, says Hefty.
Oh no, but maybe I just had a bad fight here. But I remember I dropped here one time with like 5 people, and it was like a center base fight or something. Everybody went here instead, and we went to the crescent, and there was like 10 guys, and one of them pulled a max on his 3rd death. I was like, all right, well, our beacon's dead after 5 deaths, so whatever. Next.
Okay, next is gonna be...
we throwing that into D tier or C tier?
I don't care about this base.
D. I'm gonna say
D.
D.
Yeah, no, that
sure.
makes a lot of sense to me. Lithcorp Central. This is so much easier with being able to be chaperoned around. Love it.
Kind of figured.
And it lets you guys see your own perspective. DJ can see the stream, of course.
Deep Core Geolab.
So close to being good.
Yes, exactly.
If
Also,
infills didn't exist in the game, it'd be +2 utter grades.
really rare to ever fight at space.
The lane smash lattice, yeah, but on live it never gets played.
Yeah. And when it does get played, it gets swarmed by Pop.
Drop me over by the spawn.
My problem here is that I see Sundays on point all the
time. All the time.
It's the first thing they do.
Yeah.
It's just too easy to get a bus in here.
Yeah, if this was linked with Lithcorp, I think that'd be great. The fact that it has to go through Bastion and this whole weird ass lattice is just really fucking dumb to me. The fight typically plays out here where I'm at now, kind of in this region. You'll have a lot of people who will be kind of semi-camping this building.
I always use the teleporter here. Always.
Yeah, you frequently have to. There can be some really good farm from the defender side of things.
This is one of the better teleporters.
Only issue with teleporter is it facilitates some really bad, like, semi-auto AFK drool into a cup style gameplay.
Yeah.
That's great.
So
Ruins everything.
yeah, because this does give you a huge high ground spot. I can kind of see this being useful. Gives you overview of this too.
Yep.
One of those weird bases that, because it's not played at a lot, and because when it does get played at, I feel like it's just a Zerg moving down the lane. You don't get prolonged fights here, which tends to mean that the attackers will show up. They're gonna get set up in position, like you said, with a Sunderer or camping here, and so there's no chance to see much action in other parts of the base.
Yeah. So if they could do something to reduce how many Sundays can get inside the in this little area here by the point,
Yeah.
Bulldogs, I would be more inclined to move it up to B tier or something. But I'm gonna say C tier.
I think that this is fine.
Spotted
Yeah, over here.
outside the
they
combat.
really like doing
Really
that on
far
Amerish.
away. They do. I think that this is so small fights, very playable if it ever happens. Like it's pretty much only gonna ever happen during off continent or like late night hours or something. But small, very playable. Medium fights still doable.
They were smart enough to put little barriers on these doors here. It's crazy. No vehicle shooting into the.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see what you mean.
They get creative.
They do get creative, but still.
Hello, Go Games. Yeah, I think that this is fine. This is okay. We could probably consider this one to be C tier.
It's a shame that. Oh man, this base is one of the better ones we've seen. Yeah, I'd say it's okay. Yeah, it's allowed to go into C tier. This is another one that has some ups and downs.
I'm tempted to put this one in B tier.
Do not join voice chat. Scream at the top of your lungs, please. We already got stream sniped by Simple.
That's good.
And getting stream sniped on Jaeger, you don't see that every day.
Yeah.
I like this base sometimes.
Hailco Armory.
It's pretty bad, but
yeah,
it has its moments.
You gotta know how to take the back elevators on this base, says Junks Dude.
Yeah, that's the thing is you can't use the road here. It's impossible. You definitely want to use the teleporter and go from underneath. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
But doing that, you're safe from vehicles. You basically just deal with your usual infantry cheese. Allies with impulse can get to the top of the building pretty easily. There's that as well. This is a pretty decent infantry base. I want to say B tier personally.
The attacking spawn is always like over here. I'm pretty sure.
The south and west are usually where you see attacker spawns, unless they're pushing from the east, and then you'll see one behind these rocks over here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I think this is an okay base. It sucks that it's always gonna have. Actually, I remember effect. It was probably like 6 months ago. We spawned at this base, and there are like 90 vehicles in the road, and we double orbital them all.
I do remember that.
That setup happens every single time at this base. They will just flood the road with vehicles, which sucks, but you can at least still kind of play in the base.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that the teleporter access lets you get underneath. And sure, they can get vehicles into this little bottom area below us here, but they have limited impact.
Vehicles on the road and Max is camping the teleporter.
Yeah.
That's a problem with Maxes more so than the base itself.
Right.
Maxes.
The problem is the hill that you have to climb when you're attacking. Yeah, it is very defender sided, I feel like, with this base.
Yeah, if the defenders can get set up before attackers can arrive, it's definitely defender sided.
The only attacker advantage is being able to control the road over here, but then it's like, so what? The defenders can get over into the building very quickly, right?
That said, I do enjoy attacking or defending this base because it's just a nice big building.
Yeah.
With
It is pretty unique. It is pretty unique. Light assault heaven for sure. I feel like
It kind of is. Light assault gives you good flank routes in from the roof, but heavy is still super playable.
Yeah.
Infill's not too strong here. You can kind of make everything work.
All right, so that was Hailco Armory, or what was that?
Hailco Armory, B tier, I would say personally.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine.
Tech plant, F tier.
Yeah, like
all tech plants.
Yeah, probably.
No, I think they need to go in D tier.
Yeah, D, because you can still make them work.
I don't know, with Rel added, like, if it before the Rel change, where they're like, hey, let's let people put buses underneath the point.
Yeah, it's stupid. But I can still drop one beacon and kill 5 people.
1 to 12s are pretty fucking terrible, but other than that,
that's Armory, or well, chemical.
Just gonna screenshot the tech plan real quick. But then it's on tier, not on tier, but we don't need to do more than one of them. They're pretty much all the same.
Yeah, I can't think of any of them that are different actually.
Maybe some minor layout things, but they're basically all fundamentally the same.
I want to see the Nexus tech plant.
Oh boy, that one's rough.
It's way different.
It is way different.
Really, I had a lot of fun soloing that every time during F course.
It's a shame it was on the weird lattice. Nobody ever fought there.
Yeah, it's
Everybody
just
fought at that dog shit, Bitter Gorge.
They did
Fuck
the
this
same thing we
continent,
did.
go
They
to
sent one
Austin.
guy, but they always left, and the rest was just me.
Well, we're almost done with this continent, and then I'm gonna take a short break, and then we'll go to Hassan next. If DJ and Effect want to keep doing this, I'm not gonna
I'm
force them.
totally down. I got nothing better to do.
I can
Oh
do
yeah,
that
dude.
one, yeah.
Easiest long stream of life. Heyoka Chemical, another base we've all fought at a billion times.
This thing is basically a dice roll.
Record
It's
players.
definitely,
Hassan is the best continent. I agree.
it is the best con. I don't think there's any disagreement there.
Is this the only base that still has this bridge?
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't think so, but I don't know what the other one is.
I can't think of any that have a light bridge. There is a little thing people don't realize. The infantry can still cross. They just jump down through here.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
But it's unique. That's a plus.
It is.
And it can be fun to play at. Again, open road, but they give you multiple routes to get across the road with a little bit of cover. There's at least 3. You got the 2 bridges. You got the underneath area. This area out here can be fun to play in if there's no vehicles.
Okay, so Gio, I know what you're talking about with the tree base in Hassan that has the bridge, but I meant purely for the vehicle one. I know that the infantry base has the one that you can't cross if you disable it. Girl Games said this is a hard A tier base.
I wouldn't go
On
into.
that rating, to be honest. I don't know.
I
about
would
that.
not go into A tier. I could maybe be talking to B tier.
B tier I could definitely see. You do
Air to
consistently get fights though where the attackers, you know, because they're point holding, are going to be controlling the L shape by the spawn. So you have to fight that first, and then you have to get across the underground area. Do you guys ever use the underground area here?
I
Depends.
basically always start with the underground area until they start camping it.
If
Once
the
they-
attackers are smart, it's not an option.
because it's just one long tunnel with minimal cover.
If they're
Right.
not, it's the only option. It feels like.
Okay.
LA
I
does
think
have
this
some
is a
options here with impulse
B.
nades.
I don't know. I feel bad giving it a B.
I do
As in,
kind of
like, I
feel
think it
bad
should
for
be-
giving it a B
as-
either.
I should rephrase that. I think it should be lower.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I
okay.
to me, so there's oftentimes there'll be vehicles. They can sit just outside the spawn if they wanted to. This harassers all the time. That'll be over here, for example.
the
If
turret towers.
right, you have to cross
Yeah.
the bridge, which is oftentimes just you know, a bullet hell. And if you do manage to get to the powerhouse by the point, you're usually either fighting a small populace of people that you can just wipe, or you're fighting point holders. You never fight over here, never fight over by the bridge. It's very seldom that you'll fight over at this L shape. So a lot of the base just doesn't even get used.
I do see the part near the cylinders and the L shape get used, kinda, but usually the fight's kinda over by then.
Hefty, we already talked about the underground part.
And we
Girl
mentioned it.
says the base gives you steps to defend it properly. Now, I do agree with that. I'm saying that there are you have moments where you can go from point to point. You can fight over the L shape. You can fight over the bridge. You can fight over the section here. But if you're fighting against a bunch of point holders that are semi-competent, you're gonna get caught up on the bridge. You have to pull light assault. You have to try to flank. You have to get on the roof. Go through the other sections here. If we are doing this based on a 50-50 population balance, it doesn't matter. It does matter the size of the fight. So we take into consideration: is it a small fight, so 1 to 12 total 24? Is it a medium fight, you know, 24 to 48? Is it a large fight, 48 up to 96 plus?
You know, maybe I feel like when I fight at this base, it's usually there's overpop. So maybe it's better than I'm giving it credit for. Because usually it's like I'm thinking like, okay, so the bridge, my team is getting farmed on the bridge, so I go
Right.
underground and there's 100 guys there. But like, if it's 50-50 pop, that's not going to happen. You're going to be able to split them a little bit.
Right.
I
Right.
think I just fight overpop here all the time.
That
maybe
tends
it's
to be the
not bad.
case.
Yeah. I think 50-50, I think I could give this a B, honestly.
I would give it a B for
not an A.
50-50 as well. Yeah, no reason to give it an A. You actually don't really have to deal with vehicles all too much outside of people. If they are spawning or camping the spawn, you don't really have to deal with them if they're on the road, though. It's pretty rare.
Yeah.
And
Really
far
dedicated
away-
vehicle losers can get into this back area, but there's a lot of stuff to get stuck on.
the far
Gija's
Sunday
right, though.
spawns do spread out the fight a little bit. That's usually why I get fights by the cylinders and the L, because they're spawning over there and they don't make it far enough to the point.
Yeah.
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 So
I mean,
maybe-
it's...
maybe you bring it up to a B, I think, for me.
Yeah. I really do feel like you get enough action here at the 50-50 fights where it's not a problem at all. You do have a bunch of angles to play around, but the moment it turns into overpop, it's really difficult from the defender side of things.
Yeah.
So I'm totally okay with giving it a B. So what is the chemical lab?
Oka Chemical Lab.
Save.
We got this weird ass piece of shit.
Chimney Rock. I hate this base.
I also dislike this base immensely.
I can't give this anything other than a D.
I could probably be talked down to F. That's
I like D for this. I think F is a bit much. I've had
At least for the most part, the vehicles don't have too much influence around the actual point area itself. It's usually the area outside.
like it's pretty easy to get a bus up into the point if they really want to.
Yeah, but it is pretty rare to see that though.
This base has phases that are unplayable. Stuck in spawn and pushing the point are both kind of awful.
Yeah.
After they're pushed out of the point and you're pushing to their spawn, that's awful too.
Mm-hmm.
So defending this base is
fun. Problem is the point is in a weird area. It is in a very weird area. I agree.
Yeah.
All the fighting I ever do enjoy here is whenever, like, as a defender, I get to fight over the I shape over there, and the attackers are kind of coming up the stairs, and we can have a consistent fight in this area of the map. That's the only time I enjoy this place.
I think having the attackers bus like way out in the middle of nowhere is also kind of annoying.
Right.
Because you have to go and run out over this mountain. There's 100 vehicles on the road.
Yeah.
Back here in the back, yeah.
Yeah.
The point being where it is weird.
Bus over here or over here out in the open.
Definitely bad attacker spawns.
Provide some more spawn cover and move the point. I think if these teleporters, I mean, we don't need to talk about how fucking terrible the teleporters are.
Completely pointless teleporter. Why not just remove the rock and put the teleporter or the spawn room in the middle?
Right.
What is this? It's so artificial.
It's so artificial.
If they move the point somehow closer to the spawn rooms and put garages with tunnels through the mountain on either side of that big
that would be
mountain,
interesting.
That would be like kind of an idea to see what happens maybe.
Well, even just have an entire area in this mountain you can drive a vehicle into, make it wide, and then maybe it's a bit more condensed, and you have a means of coming through this mountain to the point.
Yeah,
that being interesting.
Do that and you cover the spawn rooms and move the point a little bit and it'd be better. I like that.
I just don't think there's a reason, like, you're never really taking the teleporter, or you're never coming to this south side of it unless you're pulling vehicles, or if you're fighting people who have a sunder up in the hills over here.
Yep.
So I don't know. To me, that's just a D tier base.
I like that.
I think D is fair. I just have some innate bias that makes me want to move it to F, but it's probably objective.
This next base, I feel like my rating would change on this depending on the day.
And I agree with you, Junks. Like, if a lot of times if I'm showing up at that base, I'd check it out once and then I leave.
Yeah.
All right, where are we at?
Fights shooting people licking my spawn room window.
Yeah, that too. Chimas Skylands Battery.
This one's a mixed bag.
It's a real mixed bag for sure. Sometimes it's like a great amount of fun. Sometimes it's just fucking awful.
I really like underpop defenses here. As long as I get there before they're like on every possible angle. If I get there like at a good time, if I'm ready, the underpop defense is really good.
Yeah.
But if I show up when it's already 90% and there's like 20 guys, I don't know about that.
Yeah. In terms of 50-50, it's still kind of a mixed bag. It kind of just depends on a lot of factors. I think it can be good.
I think it's a C, 50-50.
Yeah.
You can't fight super big fights here. It's not possible.
The whole point room being open is bad. A lot of the base has no like top-down cover.
Yeah.
The attackers have a weird spawn. It's at the other end of this bridge, or kind of out in the open.
It is a pretty good spawn location in terms of defensibility, though.
Yeah. As far as attacker spawns go, it's pretty good.
It's well, maybe better than average, but still has some flaws. Like, but you can kind of move the bus into one of these corners, and it's a little safe.
Yeah, but usually the fight doesn't end here because someone kills it. At least as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Cover this thing in a dome, and holy fuck, it'd be fun. Are you talking about like the entire base, or are you talking about just the point, Grill?
I think the whole base needs it.
I think the whole base would need it.
Everything turns into a choke point at some phase of the fight.
Right.
Hackers
But
can't
that's
put
okay,
spawns
'cause
over like on this side, but like
Everything. Yeah, I can. That'd be interesting. There are, maybe a little bit less usage. Like people don't really come over here to this powerhouse that often. But I think if you covered it all in the dome, and is this a sundry? No, this is not a sundry garage.
yeah. If they change this random ass building with no fucking doors into a Sunder garage, with a
Yeah.
shield, I think that'd be great.
You have a cinder garage here, a garage over there, like its typical location. You cover this entire place in some type of dome. I think that would be really interesting.
The issue with the powerhouse, well, actually, the issue with both of the side spawns is it spits you out between the spawn room of the base and the point. Like the dubs and
over here,
that double stack both exit into not the best spot.
Right.
Yeah. You'd probably have to shift the powerhouse a little more to the east here.
Spawn could use a different route and something to stop underground fucking you in a post place. I do think the air to ground, I mean, obviously the point, we all can understand why that's a problem, but this is at least one of those bases where as the defender you can fairly quickly get into these buildings, and the sight lines aren't too bad because you're having the people who are attacking the base in the point and or in these buildings themselves. You're not having them in this sight line as much, and same thing with here. They're actually holding the buildings. So from the defensive side of things, this might be one of the more balanced like attacker over defender sided bases. It's probably close to a 50-50 in that regard.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'd say so, yeah. I've seen back and forth to the space pretty often. Dude, maybe it's not lower than a C for sure. Maybe it's a B.
I do think this is a B tier base.
I like it.
I think it's B.
Talk to B, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially this upper area, there's like limited impact of ground vehicles, which I really appreciate.
Right, right. Yeah, you're never fighting vehicles here at this base ever.
Yeah, that would be something silly like anvil it in, and that's an anvil problem, not a.
Putting a biolab roof over every hex would actually be kind of huge. They toyed with that idea many years ago, having sky shields on amp stations that covered most of everything inside the walls.
Yeah.
It was not like a spherical dome. It was a kind of a fluid shield structure, and it was very promising, but it got scrapped.
Starts commies, all of them.
All right. So that covers most of the center, if not all of the center, I think.
Got a couple more.
We just have the southwest stretch, I think.
Tumas Tech plant, obviously.
Tumas Cargo.
Tumas Cargo facility.
Another rare one.
Very rare.
Another rare one.
I actually like this base a lot. I don't know if it's that good though.
I need to see this from the spawn. I'm gonna drop in here.
Usually I do have a good time here, but this is
So.
Spawn room's all blinded.
I get air to ground every time I come here.
This is a little interesting.
The spawn being one bridge to the base is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
It's a choke point most of the time when it's not a 50-50 though, so who knows. 50-50, I think it's okay.
T goes, they couldn't sacrifice performance with those shields. Instead, they needed construction to each rep.
Actually, I think that might be the reason that they decided not to do that, now that I think about it. I don't remember. It's been like, I think it was actually 10 years ago.
The only thing I'm sure that this would play out somewhat alright, but the only thing I really dislike about these bases, man, I just hate the fucking construction style base, you know, the beta bases where you have 1, 2, 3 doorways to go in. You have this backside, maybe it's a little bit more open, but it's such a fucking nuisance trying to fight into all these head glitches, man.
Having the head glitch into the doorway is really stupid.
Yeah, like this is
unreal. The worst
unreal.
part of the space. Fighting over the point of the space is not that good, but fighting outside the point in like a bigger fight, I've had success.
Yeah, once you get to the southern area, you start like having a little infantry engagement out here. It's not too bad, actually.
Dude, I think I only say that now that I think about it because it has that stupid, like crossing the road. There's like a jump pad, and you can just farm the people that come over. So maybe this base is actually dog, and I just like farm people with the jump pad. It's a one-way jump pad, yeah.
Yeah, it takes you across the top here.
I really dislike. It feels like there's a lot of wasted space.
Yeah, hit that lift.
What the?
Yeah, take it. I think that still works, right?
It does still work, yeah.
Yeah, you can do this and just get killed for free. So maybe that's why I like this base. I think it's probably not that good.
Just head glitching right here the entire time, shooting people as they come across.
Yeah,
something like that.
Need some additional. They need to add some way to cover people coming across if they want that to work properly.
Yeah.
Man, maybe this is a D.
I
was gonna say C.
You and Girl are kind of on the same page. I just don't like how it's so fucking large. The pad is super enormous. I don't like how the point itself too. Like, okay, if people are going to attack this base, they're probably just dropping on the point. They're gonna hold the point, and how do you ever retake this if you have equal numbers?
You don't. I think I came into this base thinking like, oh, this is kind of a fun, rare, goofy one. But like, man, you started saying things. It's like, yeah, this all sucks. The one bridge and the uncovered one bridge to point sucks. Once you actually make it that far, the building has railings. That's terrible. The attackers go across a death field. That's terrible. Open field between the two hearts. Terrible. That's just D.
That's super bad. And that was 2 miles cargo facility. I don't remember the last time I ever fought at the base.
I streamed a fight there 2 weeks ago, but they were all in underground, and when I impulsed to the point, they couldn't kill me. They just left. They didn't even bother trying to fight me there.
Interesting.
Just a bunch of weirdos.
All right. Aramax Chemical.
D. It's interesting for small fights, but they're rarely small when you get to this point. And there's
got the
I shouldn't say a ton of vehicle impact, but it's still too much.
I think I've only fought here once, and it was like a super late night off continent fight or something.
Yeah, I think I have probably fought here the least of any base on Amerish, so I don't know if I can even say.
Yeah, it just doesn't look very promising. Like, you spawn, doesn't matter if you take the teleporter, you're gonna probably get air to grounded if it's a larger than a small fight, and you have 2 L shapes that are kind of looking over the point. I mean, that's somewhat unique.
I think
It's a certified 10 a.m. banger.
I saw that, and it made me think. I think this base is uniquely pretty good because the only people who are online when this base is attacked are people who don't play the game. So this actually might be a bad base that always has good fights or something.
That could be the case.
I don't think I've ever been miserable at this base, but I think I've probably fought here 5 times max.
Yeah. Put a dome over it. This has to be stellar for the 1 to 12s.
This is a very good 1 to 12.
This has to be stellar for 1 to
12s. I've done. But it's just too fucking small for barely for medium, and then definitely not for large.
It's like Aiken, so A tier. The problem with many bases is that vehicles have too much impact. Defenders could use another avenue to move instead of just tele to one other side like it currently is. Getting inside the point is fun, but you don't get to go there often. Yeah, no, for sure. I do remember when I did play that base long time ago. It was a good fight. It was like a 15 person fight on both sides. Very good.
Attacker spawns are not particularly great here either. You gotta basically have to put them behind these rocks here.
Oh, that is right. That is exactly right.
So obviously provide
I'd
some cover
say
from
C.
there.
I'm
but
okay with
yeah,
C tier for this. I'm okay with C tier
This
for
is
that.
a not enough information type of C for me.
Very much so. Yeah, we just don't see it enough. It probably only plays well. Definitely won't play well in the large fights, and it's most likely requiring a super small fight.
Is this next one the base? It is.
The base. Tormar Storage Yard.
I actually really like this base. It may not be that good, but
I don't
like
think you can do anything with vehicles at this base. Minimal impact vehicles.
Yeah.
They do. The walls are placed pretty well.
Yeah, and
The
the
only
base
spot is like over here.
the point is quite a bit higher than where the vehicles can be. The spawns and the teleporter are unironically, like, the teleporter is actually useful.
Yep. It's in the base. It gets you closer-ish to point.
It gives you a
different
flank route.
path.
Yep.
You have
These
multiple options in this
stairs.
base.
Yep.
You can go underneath that area too.
This might be
Very
an
common.
A tier base.
I'm thinking the same thing.
I'm leaning towards more B, but I could probably be talked up to A.
The only thing that would make me like put it in A over the B tier is there's not even that much space to deal with air to ground. Like, yeah, if people are good, they're going to be able to air to ground you. But as we're even flying over here now, there's enough cover that they could hide behind where it's not as impactful. Attackers and defenders, it's relatively close to 50-50 because the attackers are coming in from probably multiple angles, I'm assuming. Or do you have like a spawn over here?
Usually
See a
behind
bus here.
Chevron.
You'll see a bus over here somewhere. Sometimes, not as rare, not as commonly, but you see buses over here as well. But it's close to the V patch, so it's vulnerable.
Okay.
So probably the most common spot is definitely over here.
It definitely plays well in at least 2 of the 3 categories. Like small fights and medium fights, it absolutely plays well. I don't think super large fights happen here all too often, though.
Not really.
You'll see
Sometimes,
Zerg,
but it's
but
rare.
yeah, you won't see 96. It'll be always a Zerg if it's a lot of people.
Sure.
Infantry cover is pretty good.
It is.
Because of that, I'm saying B personally. It's just not great for big fights. A little too condensed.
Yeah, because I guess with A tier, it needs to be good for all 3. So I'm fine with that. We'll throw it into B. That's acceptable.
Begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly,
I
yeah.
can agree. Or maybe, no, I stick with it, but I'm outnumbered, so it's a B, I guess. I love that base.
It's fun. It is fun to fight at for sure.
It is. It does have moments that it's really good. Capture the flag. Gross.
Yeah, it's a D tier base. Actually, a tower base? D tier probably.
If it wasn't
Big
a
road between the
capture flag-
objectives.
Yeah, because the point used to be in the powerhouse.
Yep, used to be where the flag is.
This used to be like a B tier base.
DJ, we'll give this Tormar Storage Yard top of B, just for you.
Yeah, let's go.
Tower base ruined. Wokuck Watchtower. Yeah, it got cucked is what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys. God, one of my favorite memories. The time right before I left VCO, we had an insane defense of this base that lasted for 15, 20 minutes. And it was right around the time where, operations was happening. It was prime time, massive, like 96 v 96 type fight. And it still felt super fun. Now, obviously, I was a shitter back then. But it still felt like an enjoyable time. You know, vehicles, I don't think they have too much of an impact.
They used to not, but nowadays they kind of do since the point is here. This road is just obnoxious.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously it cannot possibly be higher than C tier if it's a capture the flag base. And I just, it draws the focal point of the fight, because where was the point before? Was it here?
Where the flag was at.
Oh, okay. So it was inside the powerhouse.
Yep, exact spot, same spot.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Like I said, this used to be a B tier base, easy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Imagine what if we I don't think there's any map in the game that has 2 points, right? It's only 3 or 1 or 4.
Yes.
I don't think there's any 2s, not off the top of my head.
What if this was a base that was a 2-point base? No, you could still do 3. You would do one in the powerhouse, one in the tower, and one in the where the A point is at now, or the turn-in point.
Yeah,
a free attacker base, a free defender or point, and one to fight over.
Yeah, exactly. That actually would be super sick.
That makes too much sense, so banned.
Nah, point in the tower is bad, I heard, so we can't do that.
Oh no.
Yeah, bases that make it hard for Zergs to just push through for free, that's not allowed. Banned.
Damn.
Imp Station. And next to a base I kind of like.
I'd like to point out we still have experienced 0 S tier bases.
I don't think Amerish.
That's an Amerish moment.
Are we doing C tier or D tier for Warcock Watchtower?
I don't really care.
I'm gonna say
it's capture
C.
the flag. I'm gonna say D. I don't care.
Okay,
I'm okay with C.
Yep. Yeah, I'll go. I'm fine with D because it's capture the flag.
Okay. We'll put it at the midpoint-ish on D tier. Warcock Shipping Dock. Oh boy, this is a fucking weird base.
I like this base.
I do like this base. This is not great for large fights, but for small and medium, this is perfect.
What is that teleporter? Might be one of the more I can't go into there. Might be one of the more useful ones. Just
underneath here.
because it takes you underneath. Yeah. Oh, come on.
As far as Planetside teleporters, or I mean, you know, it's obviously all Planetside, but as far as the teleporters go in this game, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it can become a clusterfuck here because people will sit in here and just fight over this spot. But I do like it.
Can shoot in there.
Right.
Let's not forget about that. But
anything that's underground and away from vehicles and aircraft, just solid. Move it up one notch. Do we have any interaction we typically see outside of this range? Because like sometimes I'll see people fight over the L shape.
Yeah, the L, basically the L is where you see
L, and sometimes depending on which direction they're attacking from, you'll see it either L building side or the I building with the terminal in it.
That's yeah.
The towers if they have a bus out there.
That's right. I see a lot of the tower buses. I kind of want to lean towards B for this.
Yeah, this is a B or higher. I actually really like this base a lot.
All right.
I'm saying B.
We'll throw a B for that.
If it was better for bigger fights, I'd move it up to an A. But for like for big
that
ones,
is true. The last time I was there, somebody pulled a Colossus and sat in the whole time, and that was a 1 to 12. Oh boy, speaking of infantry terminals.
This is a great infantry terminal.
West Pass Watchtower. I think we all generally like this base, no?
If it wasn't for the vehicles, yeah.
We have legendary A point in the tower still.
That moves it up, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on Emerald Void.
Is a little bit rough.
Well, technically
triple can be rough.
I'm on Jaeger right now, but I do typically play Emerald, yeah. C point gets fought over probably the least out of the 3. I feel like it's it's very rarely is it contested, but some of the best fights I've had are like between the triple stack and the B point area, that kind of range.
Yeah.
I don't want to give this. It's not more than a B.
No, I think this is a B. I think this is just straight up a B.
It's a pretty solid B. Yeah, I like that.
Tower,
any base that has the point in the tower still automatically moves up.
Yeah, that's the easy +1, but vehicles can have negative imp here, so -1. So
I think
it evens out, yeah.
If it weren't so susceptible to people sitting on the hill with bolt or tanks sitting in the road, it'd be an A.
You can't get like prowlers and other bullshit up here to spawn camp the tower, which is annoying.
Yeah.
I just love sitting up here and just planking at the tower. Like I think the last time I fought here, I clipped it. I walked out of the spawn, got bolted in the chest, ate a medkit, regen shield, got bolted in the chest again, ate a medkit, regen, went and got to the point, and somebody was staring at my flank by then. So it's like, well,
so let's look at it from this perspective then. How well does it play in the small fights?
Little big for small, yeah.
How does it play in the medium fights?
It's about the right size. Large, it works too.
Okay, so we're 2 out of 3. It has the point in the tower. You can fight over the triple stack. You can fight over the B point area. Yes, the vehicles are probably the most obnoxious part about it, but I think part of the reason why this is a B.
Here, you can get underneath the bridge here.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. The reason why I want to say that this is a B is because I'm almost never shying away from this base.
It's always worth at least checking out for sure.
Right. So I'm going to throw this on the bottom end of B.
I mean, I think it's at middle B even.
You think middle B?
I just don't think it's an A.
I definitely could move up to middle B.
So middle B right now, we have the biolabs, we have Hayoko Armory, and Barrack Electrical Station. So do you think it's better than those?
No, I think it's about that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
right
like
there.
just underneath Barrack Electrical Station.
Yeah, sure.
That works.
Okay, that's fine.
F tier, moving on.
Yeah, don't even need to put that on the thing because it's technically a construction base. Cobalt Com.
Looking at the positives, vehicles have pretty low impact overall. Lots of air to ground happens though.
Lots of air to ground. Potentially, I want to call this like a mediocre teleporter. It's not worse than the original spawn. It is better than the original spawn, I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes. The issue is the triple stack point makes it very easy to camp both spawn rooms from one location.
Yeah. I mean, you literally just sit up here.
Yep. Have an angle.
That's like
on both sides.
This is another NFFN base, indeed. That's like a fundamental problem with this base.
I would shift this towards totally fine in the small and mediums, but large obviously pretty obnoxious. If it's kind of like, what was the other base you're talking about where it's brutalized by the meta? So I feel like it's kind of like that base.
Rexcom Network Hub.
A Rexcom Network Hub. I think
but
that
I
Cobalt
think for
Com is kind
different
of the same.
I think when people, like, the reason I say that about Network Hub is when people see Network Hub, they pog out. They're like,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
I can't wait to fight at this base. And they go there and it's min-maxed because everybody's fought it 100 times and everybody loves it and they want to win there.
Right.
This base, I think, is bad just because it's designed poorly.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
yeah.
the other base isn't great either, but this has, like, the problem with having this angle onto the spawn rooms is really bad.
Yeah, the triple stack. We're fine. We're not fine. It's okay, bailing, saved it.
Excellent.
Let me see if I can get out without blowing up. I can get out. Used to be a problem. No, we're so close. A little more. Number one.
Let's go. Also, Proposition changed the name to Miller Communications.
Proposition change Miller to Cobalt.
I agree with that. For Cobalt, personally.
Cobalt sounds
Miller
cooler,
is
sorry.
such a worse fucking name. Yeah, Cobalt's way cooler.
Cobalt just sounds cool. It's like a metal and stuff. And there's
It
like
is.
Miller. It's like who's Miller?
Some middle-aged man who peaked in his 20s.
Yeah.
Just like this game.
Yeah. Cobalt Com, I'm leaning towards C.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the triple stack, it'd be higher. Triple stack being able to overlook both.
What if the triple stack? What if there was a wall, like a really tall wall, on the full south and southeast side of the triple stack, so that you couldn't see over the railings here?
Maybe make it like an arch, so you could still get to the building.
Right.
Just a nice thick arch here. So
Make it a zigzag building with the upstairs side on the northern side of the base, so there is no balcony to begin with.
Hmm.
And then maybe add another building for filler if needed.
Yeah, I could see that. For sure.
All right, Cobalt Com. C
Like,
tier.
I'm voting for C for sure.
Yeah, I'm fine with C tier for that.
That's fine.
We're putting it above North Grove Post.
Yeah, I can work with that since it's a shorter distance to point.
Okay. Next base. Kawadi Fortress. Basically a weirder and smaller amp station.
Yeah, that's true. It is in the shape of a ram station.
And holy fuck, you're always fighting vehicles at this base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. I think by default, because of how open it is against the vehicles and the air to ground, the way that the point is designed, every time I come here, it's either crazy amount of pop and or crazy amount of vehicles. And there is no way as an infantry player that you can get to that point safely.
There's
I
always
think
a baby gate in the door.
it by default moves this down. Like, I think this is a D tier base.
Easily.
Yeah, easily D, yeah.
Its only redeeming factor is in small fights where people aren't really trying that hard.
Right.
If you're just there for a good time, it's a good time.
And it would be
They're
great if
land,
vehicles couldn't get into the base itself.
Also, like, look at the middle part of the base. It looks pretty cool. Like, it has
Yeah.
decent cover. It's like a decent spot to fight, but there's no reason to go there besides the vehicle terminal or the vehicle generator.
Yep.
That's always the first thing people blow up when they attack this base.
All right.
It's also got a weird teleporter, not the worst, but way too close to the point. It's just weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, we might be about to see a good base.
Might be an actual A tier base, possibly.
I'm
Quaddy Mountain Complex. You avoid vehicles.
has-
minimum an A tier base.
You avoid vehicles. You avoid air to ground. You do have the option to fight up on the mountains, which obviously does expose you to those two things, but a lot of times you're still fighting infantry. In the tunnels, I think the worst place to fight is the tunnels immediately outside of the spawn. But if you
Yes.
take the teleporter, you have the flanking
One of the
routes.
one of the best teleporters in the game. They
Yes.
give you multiple options.
Unless
Absolutely.
they have vehicles inside your vehicle bay, but by then, there are other problems.
Yes. And this little flank spot, I love this just from the attacker's side of things. I love the different routes that you can go in. So this spot right here, I think, is why you can fight outside as the defenders too. But to me, the best fights happen when the defenders can make space and get to about where I'm at right now. And you're kind of fighting between these two rooms.
Yeah.
And
If you can get to
or
these side halls are also
yeah,
great. There's a
and
lot of
or
cover
these
to
side
work
halls
with.
right here. Yep, exactly. There's a lot of stuff that can happen here, a lot of crazy farms that can happen here. I mean, if you are a defender and you want some insane giga farm, you can of course cover the lifts. If you drop down, this whole region over here is commonly fought over. Like, this is a really sick spot to hold. You can crouch and head glitch this.
So what's the worst part about this base?
Definitely just the kind of the existence of certain game mechanics. But that's the problem with the game mechanics and not the base itself. So the constant medic revives for free, the
Yeah.
AoE spam, axes.
Okay,
Tunnels are
so
very choky.
air to ground does nothing unless you're on like the outside 5% of the fight.
Right.
Same for tanks, except for tanks can kind of get inside a little further, so that kind of sucks, but it's not as bad. Small fights, probably one of the best bases on Amerish.
If they do have vehicles in here, Junks is right. It can be kind of ass trying to take the teleporter.
That is a thing I wish they like you could get on these stairs without exposing yourself to vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really difficult to do so.
I wish that they'd rearrange that so that you had cover from vehicles. But if you can get up
Otherwise-
here, you can go to the left, you can go up this lift here. You get two
Right.
great options for flanks.
Yeah, yeah. You have three options. Obviously, the one that's down here off to the side.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think that's right. You get that too. So you get three great flank options.
This
The
lift
big
is not too
problems-
bad.
The spawn tunnel is bad. Vehicles can get in the vehicle bay and cut off a lot of your flanks. And I think that's probably it.
Mm-hmm. I would honestly put this 8 here though.
Yeah,
Easily. I think
I'm
this
never
is it.
shying away from
They
a fight
could-
here.
yeah. If they could fix those issues, this would be an S tier base.
And it is one of the few bases that truly does play well at all sizes, because of the fact that it controls and cuts down on the air to ground and the vehicles.
It is also a very good blob stopper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy, it's a
Great.
Blob past the
huge.
mountain.
They cannot deal with the mountain, dude.
Every other base should be a blob stopper, personally.
This is one of those bases where they do not go to the mountain. They see it and they leave.
Unstoppable force meets immovable object. All right. Not too many more left to go. That's not the right thing I wanted to add. 3 bases in A tier so far. All right, so between the 3 A tier bases that we have right now, we have Granite Valley Garrison, Sungrade Westgate, and now the Mountain Complex. Which of the 3 do we want to be the highest there?
Granite and Mountain are
Granite Valley.
They're kind of whatever. Depends on the fights.
Okay.
And then the other one's the worst.
Yeah.
Sungrade's the worst?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. I would almost put Quaddy above Granite Valley just because you never have to deal with the underground vehicles at Quaddy.
Yeah, that's right. I did agree with that assessment.
Okay.
Sure.
And then we got to remember this is all purely infantry focused stuff. Genida and Physics Lab, I have some of the best fights at this base.
This is a great medium and small fight base. It's
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, big fights is
and even when it, like, because you guys watched or at least heard about my last stream when I played a few weeks ago, and I was playing NC doing 40 FOV 6x Gauss saw here. It was a large fight and it still felt doable. It was chaotic, but it was still doable.
It does kind of focus people.
Then air to ground ruins the space.
It can, very much so. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because when the large fights happen, the air to ground just kind of gets shut down. There's not really a lot of cover for them.
It is true. There's not a lot to the air to ground pods to work with in terms of
downsides of this base. Upside, vehicles kind of don't impact it that much. Downside, air to ground, and the amount of high ground spots that the bolters and the, like, if you're attacking, there are always shitters on the hills over here, and of course on the triple stack.
Yeah, and having the main point building be an eye.
That is pretty rough.
With, it's a very, very condensed building.
Actually, I say it's not even an eye. It's the little tiny pillbox eye.
All right.
So.
I'm gonna say B tier.
B tier.
B is pretty okay.
That's acceptable.
Almost A. If it had more space to fight around as like the main location, like if this was wider, I'd almost put it at A.
Yeah. It works well for sure at small and mediums. It's okay-ish at large ones. Like, it's playable, but typically it's just gonna be too chaotic. I'm fine with B. Genida and Physics Lab.
Capture the flag.
Man, this base is so weird.
It used to be. I used to really enjoy it. It
used to be super mid, and now it's not even that.
Yeah.
At least for me.
Especially since the graphic update kind of fucked with visibility in this base, you just have to
Max suits the base. Oh, Shredded Skyway. Not even just that. Max suits the base. Sunderer literally sitting right here at the top of the lift. 3,000 bolters hiding in the trees or on the Skyway itself. This to me is an F tier base. I think we can all say FT. Oh, Jenny Dine was we referring to?
This should be like J909 impact. It's so bad.
Yeah, this is
send another asteroid.
Yeah, no, this is F tier for sure.
Yeah. Hey guys, let's make the fucking point all the way across the damn thing.
Yeah, fuck that too. And it's capture the flag. That's negative F tier. I gotta make a tier just for that. Call it S tier for Shredded Skyway. Or not, not S tier. No, the S tier is normally good. So no. Z tier.
Garfield, I don't mind.
AJ Banff is traumatized.
He might be onto something.
Traumatized.
I think this has the same problem of Raxicon, where it's been so optimized.
It has been so optimized. Yes.
This base is good until Sunday and like Vanguard players get up on that one rock.
Oh yeah,
for
over
some
here.
Reason live and just kill people with impunity. That's no big deal. Like no one ever does anything about that. So that's a problem. You can get Sundays in the base and then it's ruined.
I will say, if you just use the Sunday as a spawn, you can get into this building. That's a great spawn.
Battle rifles the base. That's true.
It is up there for sure. the biggest crossfire base of all time. I don't think any other base is more crossfire heavy. You're getting shot from here. You're getting shot from here. You're getting shot from over here if you're spawning. You're getting shot from up here. You're getting air to grounded. Yes.
If you're a defender trying to push up these stairs, you have to contest with people shooting you from both sides as well. So
this
like,
base does not play
cover.
well at all outside of 1 to 12s and 12 to 24s. It is fucking abysmal if it's a large fight.
Yeah. I'm thinking C.
I think this is a C tier base.
Yeah.
Too many little issues.
Cool concept. If the bottom part of the base had like a shield over it or something, that'd be neat. Might make it 5% better.
They could have moved them spawn teleporter down there instead of up top. Across them.
Oh yeah, another useless teleporter too.
We have so many C tier bases, Jesus Christ. All right. Well, ecological. I think this is... How many more do we have?
This is the last one on Amerish, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we've all fought here a lot.
It's all right.
It has good moments.
You never really have to deal with vehicles.
Yeah, it's pretty... Basically, harassers can get in here without too much issue, but...
And you also really
think
don't
you
have to
do.
deal with air to ground that much either. Like,
Sometimes,
it's obviously
yeah.
possible, but there's so much cover that you can play around. You don't need to be on the point itself.
Yeah, air to ground can't see anything on most
Yeah,
angles.
they have to work with basically spots, and that's it.
Right.
Bunch of different stuff to do with here, like with light assault or heavy or infills are okay.
It is a
I mean,
fair
obviously.
point by MZAC because there's very limited cover for
Right.
attacker spawns.
The attacker side, it's definitely
Yeah.
more defender sided for sure.
If they could add like some way for a bus to be in cover on this east side, that'd be perfect.
Right.
But
The road is underneath the base. That's true. Can just avoid the
crazy
road.
idea.
You don't have to cross the road.
Yeah,
Road has
quarantine
to
zone.
cross you.
If there was a shielded garage here for the attackers to go through, I would be convinced to put this in A tier. But because there's such a huge imbalance and it's really difficult for the attackers to have prolonged fights, like what tends to happen is even in a 50-50, the defenders will kick the attackers off. Unless they're beacon dropping in as well, the attackers get pushed back, and it's a pretty far run from the bus out to the spawn. It's actually maybe one of the closer,
Slightly
like
farther than
even
the
ones. Yeah, slightly farther. I think this is B tier for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty solid B tier.
If they could add a shield garage, then it would be A tier for sure. 100%.
There's not usually much fighting over the point. Usually fighting over that back building or the field.
Yeah, yeah. Because you also don't see a lot of fighting. Like it's kind of stuck between the point building and the ones that are attached in that sort of radius, and then of course the field between the spawns and the building, the point building itself, like the attacker spawns, I should say.
Yeah. Oh, did you cover before DJ got in here? Did you cover West Hills already? Foothills?
I
Foothills
think
Air
we did, didn't we?
I don't remember. I was had to step out for a minute.
Show them. I guess I can look at the map. That's way up.
West Foothills Air Dock.
Oh, we skipped
Way
that one.
north.
Did we skip it?
Yeah, we skipped it.
I think we did.
Yeah, we went Warp Gate and with.
Yeah, we did skip West Foothills.
I think that's the only one though.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I was
Picking on
pretty trying to follow
triage. The
trying to be thorough
lattice.
and following the lanes.
Yeah. No, that's the best approach for it.
I want to like this base, but
It
every time I
is-
play, it gives me another reason not to.
It's like the problem is this is so exposed to air to ground and zergs.
Yeah.
It's like ground vehicles don't have zero impact, but it's not all.
This base is actually pretty cool as far as like the infantry layout goes. If
Yeah.
everybody's trying to have fun and play and have a good time in this base, it's good because that underground under the zigzag building is pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump out over here real quick and take a look at something, because we do have. So the teleporter does kind of take you on the other side of the hill, which is somewhat nice. You get quick access to the air terminal, and I don't know. I feel like what ends up happening from the infantry side of things, because I think one of my last sessions I was playing here, it's always like there's a bolter or light assault. There's someone over here. There's always someone over here in between the teleporter and the main spawn. And then you have to, now you're coming over to this area. So you're fighting uphill. Like there's some infantry fight capabilities. I just always feel like when I was at this base, I'm always being spotted or pelted by some rando who's like 500 meters away from the point.
There are definitely a lot of annoying spots for infos to kind of flank you from.
It's pretty heavily impacted by vehicles.
Yeah, and what AG said is right too.
Harassers.
Never see this base be outright 50-50. It's always one-sided.
Yeah. I wish I could get a good fight at this base that is actually infantry and like it uses the underground part.
Right.
And actually goes through what is available at the base.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be. I'm thinking low B tier, but maybe high C tier.
I'm thinking that this is this is probably because it's the discrepancy of the typical pop ranges. Like you're just not gonna get. It's also a really strange like lattice to be ever fighting on. Because people typically go around this. Yeah. There's a lot of infantry cover. Like at least maybe not against air to ground as much until you get into the buildings or underground. But this is kind of like a certified info base, like Junk said.
I have a good time here when I play LA usually.
Mm-hmm.
To the point.
I feel like it leans more towards the high C tier.
Yeah.
And this is West Foothills.
I think
that should be all of them.
I like C. I will say it always plays out like it's a D.
Does it?
Because there is always a harasser, always air to ground, always vehicles.
Yeah, that's.
But the base itself may not be the problem. It may just be because it's situated on the lattice the way it is that it's always overpop.
Sure. You're gonna go low C tier then?
Probably.
Maybe middle C.
Middle C? Alright. I'm fine with
low's
that.
a little rough.
Yeah. There's so many things in C tier. I'm not even gonna worry about sorting them as much, except for like the really clear-cut obvious ones that are like high C. But every time I walk up to this base, there's a motion spotter. Oh, of course, there's always a motion spotter at this base. There's always going to be infiltrators here. Always.
Well, these days, it feels like there's infos just fucking ever, all the time. I think it's the most popular class right now, pretty sure.
So, all right, we've covered every base on Amerish. I'm going to go ahead and download this tier list real quick so I don't lose it. We'll call this Amerish bases tier list 2024. Cut that, put that into. All right, cool. So that covers that. Will this be a YouTube video? I do plan on chopping up portions of this, and I will go ahead and do the full tier list stuff as a YouTube like VOD thing. Yes. Yeah, that's the plan. You guys still willing to do Hassan?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take a short break here.
Yeah, give us a minute here to file, yada yada.
Gonna go ahead and switch over to Hassan real quick. I'll be in the warp gate, and I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, guys. We're gonna switch over to Hassan. 5-10 minutes. Take everyone to get some water. Go use the restroom. We will jump over to Hassan and go from there.